We gotta find.
Why can't I hear anything?
Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find. First clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find. The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find. The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find. The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find.
Hello?
The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find. The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Find. The program find. Who's find. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? Oh man, what a day. Why is nothing like starting up the way it's supposed to? I was in call with Dave's trying to get something fixed. Dave's, I already messed it up. Something happened. The gun guy isn't talking, and now I can't switch it like I was doing 10 seconds ago. So I'll have to get with you on what's going on there. Let me get this stuff set up. There we go. That's working right now. So we're back. As you can tell, my mic is fixed better than ever, so you get to listen to my delicious voice. Yeah, I broke him, Deus. It's just something. If you're gonna make art for me and teach me how to do these things, you're just gonna have to learn that I break things and I need help. Don't let Noah sabotage me again. I mean, that has to be what it was, right? He snuck into my house, he messed up my cord, and then he snuck out, right? But it's fine. We're gonna keep going. We're here. We're gonna watch it now. Now, I couldn't wait. I had to at least watch the video. So I did watch it. So this is pre-watched. He's in the walls. The little weasels in the walls. Hey, your mic is still a little weird. Is it? I recorded and it sounded fine. I wonder if it's the mic itself. I wonder if it's the fans that I have blowing all over the place too. That could do it. Let me hear what the heck I sound like. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Boop. I'll send that out. I forgot to send that out. I also forgot to grab a few drinks to enjoy this. Let's see here. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for. We're gonna re-listen to my voice, so this is gonna be cancer. Let's go back a little bit here. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for. We're gonna re-listen to my voice, so this is gonna be cancer. Let's go back a little bit here. I hear it. I wonder if it's the fans. I'm gonna turn this fan away from me. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Does this sound any better? Hear it. I wonder if it's the fans. I'm not allowed to be cool. Hey, it is 84 degrees right now in this garage. I do this for you guys. Test, 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 test. Does this sound any better? It does still sound a little weird. Test, test, test. Hear it. I wonder if it's the fans. I'm not allowed to be cool. Hey, it is 84. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Let's go here. We're breaking it down. Oof, the 28C, that's pretty warm. Yeah. Oh, man. Let's go into... Now I'm going to bring up Discord. We're doing this live. I'm getting this fixed. And we're... aux mic, let's go filters, limiter. Okay, that's right. I have this guy. Turn this off. Let me tell me how this sounds. Does this sound any better? Any worse? Did I just close down that whole fucking thing? No, I didn't. It's right here. Aux mic. Let's go filter. Turn this off. Let me tell me how this sounds. Does this sound any better? Any worse? It still sounds kind of bad. I'm gonna have to fuck with the. Did I just close down that whole fucking thing? No, I didn't. It's right here. Okay, it does sound a little bit better. Bit better. There we go. We're gonna go with that for now. So, who's that? Joshua? You don't know Deus, Joshua? I'm gonna have to fuck with my sound things. I guess the new cord fucked it up. Let's see here. Let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the game. And again, if anyone wants to come in, Yeah, that's Deus. The Deus. Oh, no, I'm the one speaking. It's me. What are you talking about, someone speaking? You making fun of my voice? Are you making fun of my voice? Because it sounds weird? I hate playing with the sound. I'm so, like, I can't hear. No, no one else on the call, not yet anyway. We'll see if it comes up. We'll see if it comes up later if anyone wants to jump in. Let me put on some music real quick. I gotta go grab a drink. I forgot to grab one. I figured you'd know, Deus. And I will be right back in just a couple of minutes.
We gotta find now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue.
Julia India docking, Mike 3-4. We have guidance. Firing RCS. Affirmative. Cleared for close approach. Switching to 118.50. Mike 3-4. Affirmative. Cleared for close approach. Switching to 118.50. Mike 3-4. Julia India approach. This is Mike 2634 requesting IFR advisories with information Lima.
Mike 3-4, you are cleared for IFR approach. Maintain current course and decel. Mike 3-4, Julia India approach. Extending docking arm spin 06 down. Transmitting your initial. Switch to 118.50. You are cleared for approach.
Julia India docking, Mike 3-4. We have guidance. Firing RCS.
Mike 3-4, Juliet India docking. We have you at our 198. Confirm guidance and begin RCS maneuver.
Affirmative. Cleared for close approach. Switching to 118.50. Mike 3-4. Julia India approach. This is Mike 2634 requesting IFR advisories with information
Mike
Lima.
3-4, you are cleared for IFR
Test,
approach.
test,
Maintain
test.
current course and decel. initial. Switch to 1.
Juliet India approach. This is Mike 263.
J Squad.
We gotta find. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find.
Mike 3-4, Juliet India approach. Extending docking arms.
Test, test, test. Okay. What the fuck? I hate Windows.
You are cleared for approach.
Yeah, you can hear that now. For some reason, Windows decided on its own to mute my microphone in the fucking settings. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, we're back up and running. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Noah is actively trying to take us down, and we're not going to take it. We're going to keep fighting. Oh, God. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do with Austrineers. I've been playing offline quite a bit, not with Asman, but with Jack Foster, and I don't know that I can go play the game again from the beginning or play two different games at the same time. So I'm going to play the one that's like, I play off stream too, on stream, so there'll be jumps in between where things have gotten better, and we'll go from there. He summoned a storm in your area. He did.
Advisories with information, Zima.
Oh, I wish I knew the inside joke. Maybe I'll have to ask Kino Flex. There we go. Professional streamer, guys. Trying to get monetized. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and get straight into the Noah stuff so that we don't go any further. I'm going to be just building ships in the background as we go through this. As always, if there's anybody who wants to come in and chat, talk, do all of that fun biz, I am here, always open. Just jump into the waiting room and let me know you're there. And we'll go crazy with it. So, if you don't know, whoa, what is a desktop? Oh, that's what it is. If you don't know, I was in some drama with Noah. I was defending Noah. Well, I mean, Noah's been in a couple of dramas at this point. First one being, we'll watch and see. But I had a pretty big part in the second part of the drama. And Toastify has made a pretty good video with Futures doing a lot of his research for it. So I'm excited to see this, and I hear that there is a part 2 coming out. A part 2, so this should get even spicier.
Hello. In the past couple of years, we've seen people saying slop more and more. It's used to describe easy to consume content with its only purpose being sustenance or entertainment. Whilst it's
I do love my slop.
easy to attack for its lack of creativity, it does at least serve a purpose. But where it becomes more egregious is if it's not presented with honesty. If you're going to espouse lots of incorrect details or preach morals that you don't really stand by, what value does your content even have? What makes you different from any other random person who can fake it till they make it? The points you make in your videos and how you present them says something about you. Unless, of course, they were never your points. Utterly Noah is a left-leaning video essayist with around 50,000...
This, I think, it's a big thing. Me and Deus were just talking about this earlier, and it's like, when you go through it, at the end of the day, looking back at everything, I just know Noah has no actual thoughts in his head. Like, he listens to what other people say, and he repeats that, hoping to sound like he's smart, right?
Subscribers. His most popular videos are all about autism representation in popular films and TV. You can tell this because his description says #autism. But as of recently, he's made several videos going after political grifters in media criticism, or as he calls them, grizzly bears. Noah's widely disliked targets and his coverage of them have gathered him a core audience of supporters. But what separated video and persona began to shine through with a myriad of online drama. It ended up questioning whether Noah's content was even his own and not just copied from others. In these last few months, he's proven himself to be manipulative and dishonest. The public window he gives his audience is far from showing the full scale of his actions, and it begs the obvious question: if he were to look at himself, would he use the label he throws onto others?
This is kind of like the pot calling. This is one of the real situations of the pot calling the kettle black in a lot of situations. And I think you're going to see this with Anthony as well, where they like to pick fights with these guys over like the grounds of just to pick the fights with them. I don't know that any of their arguments anymore, looking back at these guys, are any good at all. Yeah, I know my mic's a little fucked up. I've been trying to figure it out. Is it still really bad? God damn it, man. I thought I had it squared away, but I think it's either my mic is having actual problems and not just the cord. It sounds like it's peaking a bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Hold on. Let's turn it down. Hello, hello, hello. Tell me if it's any better while we're going on with this. I did turn it down a little bit. I just got to go through all my settings again. I hate doing it. I should have done it. I just never had time today. I'll probably do it after stream before I go to bed. A bit brassy, but not as bad. Yeah, I'll have to... Or bassy. Bassy is what you're going for? Voice mod is P good to filter sounds. Voice mod is pretty good. Where do you get voice mod from? Yeah, I'll take a send it to me, because I definitely need to. I'm terrible at trying to adjust it myself.
Utterly Noah is a media reviewer by trade, so it was unlikely for him to ever come across my radar had it not been for the way he started his major controversy. In early January 2026, the streamer Tectone had his court battle come to a close. Now, summarizing his whole situation isn't for this video, but basically, his ex-girlfriend accused him of abuse. The court agreed, and Tectone had a whole load of restrictions upon him as part of a restraining order. With this huge news coming in, a lot of people wanted to know Tectone's history of controversies and how this all came to be. Noah, seeing an opening, posted a tweet glazing himself on Twitter. The link below was his video.
Dude, this is what I say too, I've said from the beginning, I've said for a long time that he's got an ego. I guess I just never really thought how bad it was, and him doing this, him doing this, like this thing right here where he said he was like the best, like this is the Tectone video, even though we all know that, you know, Shamu is the guy, Tectone, day zero hater on that guy. Holy shit, what a nothing person. Yeah, I've never liked Tectone either. He just always gave me those vibes of someone who is just like sketchy. Like he's too nice to people in front of him, and it just, I've met people like him before, right?
Anti-woke religious gamers are unintentionally hilarious, hunting grizzly bears, but the tweet caught the eye of Shamu, a smaller drama creator who had been one of the breakthrough people covering Tectone. And when you put Noah's video side by side with Shamu's uploaded a few months prior, you start to see some very similar passages. Both videos follow the same sort of timeline in the story and talk about the same kind of points. Now, this can be chalked down to just similar coverage. After all, when two people cover the same story, they're poised to overlap with each other somewhere. But in some parts, Noah's video is just him talking over Shamu's video. In some cases, he directly takes edits from the video with no credit whatsoever. Nicandros, another smaller drama creator, chimed in and made an entire compilation showing examples of Noah's copying. This shows pretty clearly that whilst this isn't plagiarism, in the traditional definition
Jesus,
of
what are you
copying
doing?
words, it does show that Noah used the edits, made the same kind of points, and followed the same timeline. This isn't...
With me, like when it came down to everything, like stealing the same points can be very iffy and hard to like decide if they're truly their own thoughts or not. Like, yeah, when it's word for word in some of the cases, yes, I think that. Other ones that I've seen, like the second video on Noah's plagiarism, I don't think it was that cut and dry just because he elaborated on those points, right? But the editing to me is the most egregious because he not only cut, directly from Shamu's video, he tried to hide the fact that he was making those cuts.
Just purely coincidental. Some of these edits are harder to spot than others. For example, in this clip, Noah changes it by zooming in, but leaves a little trace of Shamu's text. In another example, Noah would seemingly go out of his way to remove credit to people Shamu had credited. In this clip, Shamu credits the...
getting to cook them. Their bad might be over stating it, but it was a clear downgrade from clean audio. It was a very low bit rate. I'll play around with some things on them to see what I can find that makes this voice back to its smooth beauty that it was before.
Original creator Plazukas, but Noah's version tries its best to zoom away from him or crop out the credit. When Shamu noticed this, he sent Noah a DM simply asking for credit. Noah didn't respond, but did reply to one of his tweets taking credit for, quote, pushing more of your information on Tectone to a bigger audience. Shamu hadn't wanted to make a big deal out of this, but after seeing Noah proudly display this video, he posted a tweet calling...
No, I haven't got that far yet, but I couldn't help myself. I had to watch it last night, so I have pre-watched this, and now we're going to talk about the situation.
Him out. Noah then pumped the brakes and said that he never saw a DM and he wasn't trying to come off like he plagiarized him. Shamu doubted this and reiterated that he had no right to rip his video without any sort of credit. Noah responded saying that just because he screen recorded and ripped Shamu's video, it wasn't his intention to plagiarize, he just wanted to use his bigger platform to let people know about Tectone. This is very much using the ends to justify the means, over again a pretty simple issue that could have been credited by just showing his clips with his name on them. You can spread the message or whatever without copying someone's video and presenting it as if it's your own. Noah then claims that he credited Shamu, and that he credits tons of people in the description, whether it be from books, news sites or videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to start over.
That this credit was added just now whilst they were speaking. Noah then backtracks and says that he never specifically said that he didn't add it now. However, the way it's worded seems to signify otherwise. If he explained the situation to someone else, this vague framing could obscure his actions and confuse people into thinking it's way less worse than it actually is. After this, Noah then started to go on the offensive against both Nicandros and Shamu. He also tried to argue that this wasn't actually plagiarism at all by definition, and that Nicandros and Shamu were just whiny, petty losers, jealous of the great Noah's success. A good reminder that this started because Noah posted to Twitter, stroking his ego by saying that he's got the biggest video about this whole situation. This attitude just seems very strange. It's especially opposed to how he said he respected both of them quite a bit as commentary creators back in the DMs. And again,
and this is the start of like the two-sidedness when it comes to Noah. He'll say one thing and then he'll turn around and say something different in the other group.
As for the claim that this isn't plagiarism, it may not fit the standard definition of copying someone's work verbatim word for word.
I'm echoing now? Fuck, what the fuck?
Follow a similar story.
Jesus Christ. Echo. I'm just having all the technical problems today. What is happening now? Hello. I don't have two mics on. It's just fine. It's just fine. It was just fine. Properties. That's not what I want. Damaged. I need you to come on stream and save me. Filters. Hello. Still echoing. Test. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be coming up though. Is it still echoing? Is it echoing now? Good now. Okay. I must have set like I guess OBS changes compression settings. So I ended up changing one of the compressions. I was fucking around with it on stream, and it fucked up. So you're just gonna have to deal with this rough voice for now, until we figure out what's going on, because I want to fuck it up.
It gets a lot more suspect. This is pretty different from just using screenshots. You're cutting as much credit out of them as possible, and then using that for your video. This isn't background footage. It's something that a casual viewer would assume was your work gathering these clips together. In his stream chat, Noah would later gloat about how he was gonna roast Shamu and Nicandros, immediately labeling them as seething.
Why would you? Why? Like, I didn't know about this part when I hit it. Why would you gloat in your public stream chat if you're trying to like that he's gonna own them? Why is he constantly doing all of this gloating all over the internet just to fold like a fucking weasel, like we're gonna see later?
Conservatives. This is despite the fact conservatism never had anything to do with this discussion. What exactly is the chud-coded behavior here? Holding someone to account for not giving credit? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time plagiarism was significantly discussed online was a huge left-leaning creator raking these people over the coals for 2 hours straight. Come on, man. Do you just want to label them as conservatives because it'd be easier to write them off? Also, there's this tweet which I just want to highlight. I checked it, and by definition, Noah isn't plagiarism. Sure ain't. Nick and Shamu can whine all they want, but my videos they're complaining about are fair use. And
like, what do you mean Noah isn't plagiarizing? There's always these people that come in and will just say, no, it isn't, and but you got it was 100% plagiarism on that side of it. But jumping in on anybody who's on his side is crazy behavior.
Don't plagiarize them. If they want to copyright strike me for these videos though, feel free. We'll be very telling and very petty, which they already are. Hey Toastify, why'd you bring up this tweet specifically? Listen, no reason. Just don't worry about it, you know? Not long after promoting a stream he was hopping onto, Utterly Noah was doxxed on Twitter. AKA, they found his full name because he credited himself with his full name alongside Utterly Noah on YouTube. Surely you gotta do some OPSEC or something, man, come on. Noah immediately jumped to blame Shamu and Nicandros for this doxing. His proof? Well, an account responded to him saying, Shamju wants us to dox and harass. That's
right, Joshua, that's right. Using the Deus art, that was not fair use. but they could try and strike his video and go from there. Oh, look, first me, ego boost.
You, and that sounds more fun than listening to your stream. How this is evidence is kinda beyond me, not just because it's some random guy saying this with nothing to prove it, but also because he calls me Shamju. Not gonna lie, guys, I don't think Utterly Noah is very smart. Probably.
Dude, I think when it comes to this, I mean, it's just, he was searching for any way he could possibly, I'm like a sleeper agent. I could copyright strike at any moment. Y'all don't know the real reason why I got Desu in my Discord, huh? It's in case I need her. I have the command word. I can and will use it. But he was grasping at straws for anything he could say to try and make these guys look bad, right? So this post from this shitter account came up, and he's like, oh, they're trying to dox me, this is what they're doing, and just ran with it, when it's pretty clear that this guy doesn't care about anyone. He's trying to start shit. Deus, I choose you.
Because when they posted his name, he then retweeted
use copyright strike
it and posted it to his audience, making everyone aware that yes, that is his dox. Shamu would obviously respond to this, stating that Noah was defaming him to cover up his plagiarism. With everything going on, there were a lot of questions remaining unanswered, and we would get some of those answers within 24 hours, when Noah was challenged on his work by a number of creators. The resulting stream panel included people like Dickers, The British Runner, Emrau, Shamu, and Nicandros, all drama channels who had recently been critical of Noah in some way. Noah also brought along a...
What Why does he keep, like, I saw this part and I was like, why is he zooming in on me so much?
Small streamer named Wargaming Dad, who he had recently streamed with trying to dispel the plagiarism allegations.
Let's say someone made a video on the J.K. Rowling autism coded thing that you just did. They used clips from your video, even though you don't own the clips of J.K. Rowling or whatever clips you use there. They just cut your video up, put it in theirs, and then narrated over it, right? They took your editing, the hours of work that you did. They're now just stealing, putting in their own video and portraying it as theirs, right? If you just came across that naturally, you'd probably be a bit annoyed. Could you maybe tell or would you be annoyed? And if so, why would you be annoyed, I guess?
That would be pretty upsetting, because the reason I did that video is because nobody has talked about that before,
This is a common theme we see over the course of all of Noah's dramas that have happened, where he's suddenly agrees with, oh well, that is a good point. Yeah, I don't think I would like that. It's like the guy who's in what was it, a Family Guy, who was in jail and he stabs himself and he's like, this is what I was doing to people.
The autism J.K. Rowling
I understand.
thing.
Why would that upset you?
Because
that's valid. It's so
it's an idea
valid
that I came up with, the autism J.K. Rowling stuff. Yeah, because I don't
There
like.
may be
That's
some
also
other
why
outlet.
I guess that's also why I'm struggling to
I'll take
figure
the
out why
ad.
Shamu thinks like does he think coverage of Tectone is plagiarism, or I'm just
Shamu's ready to hop in, by the way.
The thing is, Noah can't seem to understand that it's not really about the idea. There is nothing new under the sun, and just because people cover the same idea doesn't inherently mean it's plagiarism. The difference is in the detail, how the opinions and timeline are presented. In this case, Noah has done none of his presentations. He is the cheap Chinese knockoff. The segment's purpose isn't a new idea, it's clearly just repackaging it for a different audience. Even if you then did that, the sheer audacity to then brag about it like it's a lighthouse of information in the stormy waters of Tectone drama, saying your video's the highest views and everyone's jealous, that just adds to how stupid it is.
No
specifically
shit,
here
right?
Shamju, so I'm assuming that
This is that thing where like views is all that matters. I'm right because I have the most views. This is the same thing that was happening with the Kinoflex debate, where it was like there wasn't really a debate. Noah was just knew he had more views and more subscribers, so he was, pushing and going at Kinoflex with no real arguments because he knew his audience wouldn't care, right? It was just an ego. I'm bigger than you. All the names he was using for Kinoflex, it's another sign of his ego.
wants to dox and harass you. And frankly, that sounds like more fun than listening to your stream. So and then, I go
Why
in.
would you believe what he said?
Because I thought this guy was actually working with Shamu.
What made you think that?
Now, you may be sitting there thinking, so what? One video, is that all it takes for this guy to be labeled as a plagiarist? And don't worry, because you're in luck. A couple of videos released by Ryle Kittenhouse showed far more examples of Noah copying other creators in his work. And this is far from some of the interpretive perspective beforehand. This is copying homework and changing it up a bit.
Vasquez starts the shot as an amorphous blob before the AI starts to put a mouth on
this
her
was
cheek.
definitely
The shot here with Vasquez, it tries to read her face at first as an amorphous blob because it doesn't recognize her face is a face.
In the same Audibly Noah video, they steal more from Neuron.
And this sits so much more on the clips. It's the clips and then repeating the same talking points, right?
Taking the graphics and a snippet of the script.
And Tom Arnold, a spectacle to behold in his prime, looks to be in the early stages of Emperor Palpatineism.
This shot here makes Tom Arnold look like he's turning into an amalgamation of Emperor Palpatine and Donald Trump.
Doing a retrospective is one thing, but in this video, both Noah and Vincent Pavarel are responding to the same video, and Noah is coincidentally making the same sort of points, using the same footage, and saying the same descriptors.
This year kicked off with Captain America, Brave New World.
No, this year kicked off with Companion, Better Man, and Dog Man.
This year kicked off with Captain America, Brave New World.
No, this year did not start off
I
with
hate
Captain
everything
America,
I learned
Brave
about
New
that
World.
sad
This year
otter.
started off with Companion,
Oh, McDizzle, if only you were there.
Better Man, and Dog Man in January of 2025.
And I'm even skipping on a couple. One of them.
By the way, welcome McDizzle. Yeah, this was This was definitely the first drama that I was involved in any kind of way, and it was some kind of ride.
Better Man was a massive box office disaster, but let's not use box office as a metric to determine a film's quality for a moment.
Better Man was actually a pretty decent and unique music biopic about the British singer Robbie Williams that unfortunately ended up being a big flop for Paramount. But let's take a step back and not use box office to determine whether a film is actually good or not, Jester Bell.
Having a unique energy to it.
Yeah, we are the lucky ones, Dave.
Absolutely gorgeous dance sequences all throughout.
I thought it would be a good time to just express what I've been feeling this year reviewing movies.
You mean reviewing only massive blockbuster IP-driven movies and not really movies in general, but okay.
To just express what I've been feeling this year reviewing movies.
Ah yes, and by reviewing movies, you mean only major American mainstream blockbuster films.
Sinners and Weapons, there were a couple things in it that I thought I don't want to see that in the theater.
What couple of things do you feel like you don't want to see in Sinners specifically? You want to at least elaborate a bit on that?
Also, what exactly in Sinners made you not want to see it in particular?
Yeah, you see that one, this statement right here is like probably one of the most egregious, right? Some of the other ones you can get up, they're kind of making the same point. Yeah, he's using it word for word, but maybe you could talk it away. But like this one right here, he's asking the exact same question, right?
Hitting on that?
Just so much more sludge.
That sludge is Disney and IP movies, Jester Bell, which is not the entirety of Hollywood or movies all across the world.
Just so much more sludge.
That sludge you're referring to is just simply Disney and IP movies. That's not the entirety of Hollywood.
Why not hope for movies that do better at the box office to be good movies too?
Why not hope for movies that are successful at the box office to be good movies first and foremost?
I'll also say, one thing you can take away from this is, usually these kind of talking points, you may have something similar to it in one way or another, maybe 1-2 times in a video, but this is like the same videos back to back.
Foremost.
On paper, this might seem like a different video and not word-for-word plagiarism by definition, but in its soul and spirit, and I think production, this is just a regurgitation. It doesn't have its own opinion or story to tell, it's a copy-paste of a rebuttal.
The way Jester Bell phrased this here sounds like generalization, and referring to people who watch these films as snobs who pretend like they're superior sound kind of mildly condescending.
She seems to think that anyone who watches independent films automatically is a film snob and thinks they're better than everybody else. Yeah, that's totally not overgeneralizing and completely condescending at all.
You can even spot the Windows Media Player showing you obviously just downloaded and screen recorded Vincent's videos. In the second video, Ryle shows Noah heavily copying off another creator called SK.
Okay, but
now I will say this before he gets into the SK one, because there's going to be a lot of the same ones. I went in and watched the videos back to back as the things were going on here, and while there are similar talking points, he goes into further detail about them, right? And even some of them I think are clipped poorly, we'll say, to make it look the way it is when it's not in those same situations where the clips that are shown next to each other weren't really next to each other in those regards. He was going into other subjects and then reiterated that that without going into greater detail. It's still I still think you should do your own and try and make your own videos. That's why I like to live stream, and I don't watch anyone else until I've watched the video myself, either pre-watching it, coming up with my own ideas, or watching it raw on stream. So at least I know if the ideas are dog shit, they're my dog shit ideas.
This is a trailer, not a movie.
And funny enough, now Jester Bell is doing the exact same thing, talking about the trailer for Supergirl before the movie's even out.
I don't know why so many people on YouTube seem to think that they're time travelers all of a sudden.
I guess Jester Bell must have magically found a DeLorean or something though and traveled to 2026.
Iron Man is a completely different movie from Winter Soldier. The Avengers is a completely different movie from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Iron Man 3 feels like a very different movie than Thor. Spider-Man Homecoming feels like a very different movie than Black Panther. The Avengers is a very different movie than Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's almost as if they're using a variation to contrast Superman's character.
Jester Bell also doesn't seem to understand.
I think we got the point with this one, or with all of them. Yeah, the plagiarism is pretty clear in a lot of it.
Supposed to show the contrast in the ideals of Supergirl and Superman.
Because if she didn't have any character flaws, I'm betting people would go on about how she's a Mary Sue.
Because if the trailer showed that she didn't have any character flaws, then this crowd would just go the other direction and call her a Mary Sue.
James Gunn initially wasn't ready to commit to Superman because he was still feeling the trauma of his Marvel firing.
What was going on at the time was him feeling the trauma of being fired by Disney for his old tweets.
Some of these are cold hard facts.
So like that situation right there, the trauma thing, there's a lot more detail before and after that are put into it than just saying those same statements, right? It wasn't in the same frame. He went to a lot more detail behind James Gunn in that whole situation. But yes, we got to the point. He is a plagiarist by definition. We all came to the conclusion of that by the end of this drama.
Other parts are just the same clips to respond to and very similar points. Following the stream, Noah put up a community post apologizing for his plagiarism of Shamu, Vincent Poverel, and Nerol. This was pretty straightforward and plain, which is a decent rule of thumb for apologies like this. He also made a video apologizing and committing to rectifying his issues through plagiarism detection software, which I don't really know because I don't think those software even detect YouTube.
No. See, there's no way in hell that he could come up with trauma in that statement by himself. Oh no, I definitely hear that he actually read, like he got the idea from someone else and then maybe went through and actually did a little research and elaborated on it. But there's more to it than, like, I would say plagiarism, right? You can take someone's statement. And yeah, these, from my understanding, these free online plagiarism checkers and stuff like that they search like college and stuff like that, college documents and things like that.
Videos, you just don't have to copy their points, especially in a rebuttal. Just use your brain to respond. Noah also doesn't note the false accusations he made of doxing. Now, you might be feeling a little lost and out of whack right now, and that's because usually when looking at a content creator, I don't really get stuck into the drama immediately.
Yes, he's even said it himself, he's bad at wording, even though he is a fucking video essayist, right? I think you're in the wrong profession if that's what you've decided to go with.
Immediately. I'll give some background as to who this creator is and what they do, but with Noah, apart from the autism representation videos, I can't really portray that accurately, because in a lot of the examples of recent content, it's been shown that it's not entirely his. It's hard to summarize Noah's personality and what he makes when I don't even know if it's the points he came up with. It's not like he has a baseline story and relies more on his personality as a way to accentuate it and give his unique flavor. That is just not there in the way that Noah approaches these videos. So by the way he works, there's nothing that inherently separates him from anyone else. Would relying on other people's points to slide by for easy views without credit maybe sound like grifting? You decide. Most of Noah's fellow creators and his audience were happy to forgive him, despite how this had called into question the entire nature of a lot of Noah's videos. At the very least, it shows that he doesn't really have what it takes when he has to speak for himself. Again, you're bound to collide in points when responding to a video, but the point of responding to a video is that it's a response. It is your personal feelings on someone else's take. Noah doesn't seem to be able to do that, at least in these examples, without lightly or heavily lifting someone else's takes. And so maybe it wasn't surprising when Noah was personally criticized and thrown into his own drama, his crumbling was instant. Noah is no stranger to online conflict. Obviously, his videos accusing and calling out other people for being grifters would clash with those being accused. And a month before his Tectone video, Utterly Noah released Critical Drinker's review of Predator Badlands is hot garbage, hunting grizzly bears. Critical Drinker, for those who don't know, is a pretty popular media reviewer on YouTube who's generalized into the whole anti-woke crowd. Now, I'm not going to dive into the gritty details of media reviewing, honestly speaking, not my area of expertise. However, I do know that this video gathered the attention of EFAP, a media review podcast with an assortment of personalities, some of whom were friends with Critical Drinker. They criticized Noah's video on their podcast, starting a period of animosity between the two. However, Noah's response to seeing EFAP
I think though, like when it comes to Noah, like he wants this kind of animosity, right? That's what he was looking for because it in itself helps him get, more views, more likes. I do think he falls under that class of grifter, because that's what he was looking for, right? He was looking for beef with them versus actually talking about like media criticism and their bad takes. And I think there's like a lot of people like on EFAP. There are people on EFAP that I don't really care one way or the other for, but I don't like hold it against them that they're friends with Critical Drinker. But you can still criticize Critical Drinker for a lot of his takes. He just didn't expect that anyone would gang on him instead, right? He was just hoping his audience would do it, right?
Cover his video was to immediately puff out his chest. Lamau, they know I'm a threat. Yeah, they don't have much else going for them except trying to defend Drinker and hope that will earn them some of his viewers, I imagine. Otherwise, they're pretty much done for. Are they just a podcast of grifters? Essentially. EFAP's coverage plus the plagiarism controversy had attracted some unwanted attention to Noah. He got into fights with a fairly small channel named Kinoflex, who you're gonna see pop up more frequently. And more importantly, on April 12th of this year, a small YouTuber named Callisto released a hypercritical 2-hour video pouring over Noah's content. Again, it goes over a lot of his different takes on TV, films, and games, but it also includes a section dedicated to Noah's plagiarism. Noah even made a response to the video himself via stream. Yet only a day or so after its original upload, Callisto's video disappeared from his channel. A few days later, it came back up, but with a new thumbnail. White background, black text spelling out temporary thumbnail. What happened? Well, Callisto's original video had been hit with a copyright strike. Originally, the source of this strike was puzzling.
So, at this time, I wasn't paying a lot of attention to Noah, right? I hadn't been watching his videos because I couldn't trust that his videos were genuine. But I mean, I was still friends with the guys. And then this kind of, this happened. And it's kind of what jumped me into it. Like, what's going on with this Callisto and things like that. I remember seeing the video and I thought about watching it, but it was like 2 hours. Yeah, there you go, being crazy, Deus. At any moment, she's gonna take it down. But like, I was gonna watch the video when I saw the original clip in the video on it, but then I saw it was like 2 hours long, and I was like, dude, I don't think I could do that. That's like more than my entire stream. I would have to do 2 streams to watch that shit. So I put it aside and I was like, maybe I'll watch it a little bit later. And then it kind of piqued my interest again when this started happening.
It turns out an artist for Utterly Noah named Deus Marionette had been the one to issue it, and the strike was specifically for using the art that Deus had made of Noah's character. When other YouTubers, like a certain Nick Diorio, picked the story up, Noah responded with a tweet from Kinoflex clarifying that a separate person had striked this and they were resolving it. When Nick asked whether this was Noah's artist, Noah didn't respond. At the time, Nick was on EFAP, who were live partly covering Callisto's video, and they were all aware of the recent developments. Suspicion predictably surrounded Noah and his involvement. For example, in his stream response, why did he download Callisto's video to react to? In doing so, he automatically removes the ability to check the transcript or scrub through the video accurately. The only reason for downloading would be if he knew it was going down. But perhaps that was just part of his video process.
Welcome back, Mike.
Nicandros also noted that Noah was claiming the two had now squashed the beef and were working together. This just wasn't true. Nicandros had rejected Noah's offer, but recommended him resources for original research. At the time of the EFAP stream, Noah would also post to his community tab, clarifying what happened. I'm well aware of the EFAP stream covering Callisto's response to me, but I want to make...
This is something that seems like weird to me too, that I've like noticed watching this video, is because I didn't see some of these small things where he had said like, oh, we're all good now, it's all good now, right? But obviously it wasn't, right? I just don't know where he thought that he could just say, oh yeah, we're all good, and people wouldn't respond, like especially people like Nicandros, who would definitely respond to it, right?
Make it clear that their response doesn't change what I've said about ending the beef with both Callisto and Kinoflex. He was sent a copyright claim from someone I know, but I was not responsible for it. I'm working to get it resolved to show that I'm not going back on my word, and I'm looking forward to the next stream to finally put all this drama behind us. The morning after, Kinoflex revealed the strike was now in the process of being lifted. When Dickers publicly pressed on how convenient this had all been, Kinoflex sent him a clip to prove the artist was acting on her own. In this clip, Noah, his co-host Simon, and the artist Deus are in a call. This 30-second clip shows the artist being pretty protective of her own work.
getting this clip for him kind of made me get to the point where I want to pay more attention to this clip, because I feel like if I would have paid attention to this clip more, I kind of would have realized like something was off, right? But I think I was like busy looking into going into talk to Dickers, and I had looked around for other things and asked him a bunch of questions, and I was trying to do my due diligence, and I fell flat of it. And this video itself should have been like a sign, like it should have been in question.
Well, look, I don't post on YouTube. I have nothing to do with that community, so to know that people are using my work to promote their stuff is kind of shocking to me, because I post no videos. I don't know who any of these people are, so for me it's a no-go. So for you to tell me that someone using my work that I have no idea who they are, never seen these videos, never consented to their opinions, it's like I'm promoting their work.
Yeah, fair enough. I get what you're saying. So like I said, I'm sorry honestly if I actually said something that might have actually been off of there. So
I need to get into more of these calls.
Me and him have resolved it. He's removed it. I've removed the claim because he's taken the art off, and yeah, I don't know why anyone else is getting involved in this.
Yet this didn't really convince Dickers or anyone else for that regard. Tons of people had used this exact piece of art when they were covering Noah's plagiarism scandal. The only person who had ever been taken down was Callisto. Dickers, Nick Diorio, and a variety of other people were then blocked for questioning Noah's culpability. And
to this day, I can't believe that this call was what broke the camel's back and not everything else. Yeah, I mean, when you look back at it, it was like, man, there was a lot of signs.
The reason is because they were right. Behind the scenes, Noah orchestrated the strike against Callisto, and manipulated friends and critics alike into his whim. This community post where he said he wasn't responsible was a lie, all of it. To understand the complete scale of Noah's
Deus Ex Honor Divided. Yes.
deception, we need to first take a look at the DMs between everyone he talked to. There were 4 key figures here: Callisto, Kinoflex, Wargaming.
If Noah wasn't a friend, the channel, I'd shit on him more on Discord.
Dad and Deus, the artist.
I mean, you can shit on him more in here. All right, hold on. Let's go back a little bit. This gets crazy because I never thought my face would be in a Toastify video with all this whole drama.
And yeah, I don't know why anyone else is getting involved.
People had used this exact piece of art, Callisto, and the reason is because they were right. Behind the scenes, Noah orchestrated the strike against Callisto, and manipulated friends and critics alike into his...
Before he goes any further, like, when you hear this particular drama, like, you don't think about someone, like, this is the stuff that's usually said around the things that so-and-so is orchestrating it, around the outsides and things like that, but there's never really any proof, right? And it could just be that someone else did it, or, you know, a lot of times the person just does it themselves. But to see this guy try and do this, like, 4D chess when he's actually playing checkers is fucking insane. It was so insane that I was like, it couldn't be real, right?
Whim. This community post where he said he wasn't responsible was a lie, all of it. To understand the complete scale of Noah's deception, we need to first take a look at the DMs between everyone he talked to. There were 4 key figures here: Callisto, Kinoflex, Wargaming Dad, and Deus, the artist. All these conversations were happening at around the same time, but we'll start in chronological order with Deus Marionette. Hey Deus, I wanted to give you a heads up, but apparently
he's playing 4D chess by eating the pieces. He's playing more like Ants in the Pants or Hi-Ho Cheerios. Yes, it was. I don't know where he thought any of this was going to go, right? Like, I don't know where he thought that this would be some big mastermind plan.
Anti-Woke channel is using your art in their thumbnail in a video attacking me specifically.
Yeah, I do like how Deus, they didn't give any picture for her, it's just Deus. They could have used, you know, the one in her Discord or anything like that, but, you know.
But also attacking black people. OMG, what is wrong with people? You might want to file a copyright takedown so your art doesn't get accidentally associated with them. I know, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. What's the channel? It's named Callisto, I think. I see it. I can also walk you through the steps for setting up a copyright takedown if you want. Camelot apparently has had a similar situation before, so she let me know how she did it. Yeah, that first one. Now, there's a few things to note here. First of all, Noah isn't just responsible for alerting her to the video, he is directly recommending her to take this down with a copyright strike and offering to walk her through what to do and how to do it. The next thing that catches your—
This is the part that you really need, it really needs to hammer home. Like, he not only brought it to her attention, he I think you should copyright strike it, which is he's trying to coach her into copyright striking it. And, talking to Deus, he did a lot of pressing. He didn't like the fact that she only did it for the 7 day instead of the 1 day. So it's very telling just how malicious this little rat was.
Is Callisto's video was attacking black people? Well, last time I checked, Noah's white, so clearly something else is going on here. We'll keep this on the burner for now, because Noah doesn't exactly explain what he's referring to, but he will do later. And spoiler alert, his claim is ludicrous. Still, it's nice to know that this copyright strike actually had nothing to do with fair use and copyright law. Important to note, considering the copyright system can actually lead to legal consequences. Whilst this strike was being processed, Noah reached out to Kinoflex and by proxy Callisto about how Callisto's video made him feel. He pleaded with them for peace, offering to delete his tweets in exchange for Callisto removing his 2-hour video. Kinoflex was pretty happy with this and said he would forward it to Callisto, who denied it. They may not have known it yet, but this was Noah forcing a choice onto them. If Callisto didn't take it down, Noah would do it.
Straight manipulation, narcissistic manipulation to get people to do what he wanted them to do
for him. Kino and Noah discuss stuff further on, where Noah notes that he regretted some of the stuff he said about Kino. His message to Callisto also prompts him to correct some of his actual mistakes from his video. A day later, the strike came through to Callisto, and Kinoflex contacted Noah on his behalf. Listen to how Noah reacts. Hey Noah, Callisto received a removal request for using your avatar in his thumbnail, and wanted me to reach out to you to see if you know who this Deus Marionette person who sent the copyright claim is, and how it can be resolved. The email from YouTube says it's scheduled to be—
Noah isn't white, he's blight.
Be deleted in 7 days. Oh Deus Marionette is my PNG artist. She made my PNGs I use in my video. I originally sent her Callisto's video. How do you think—
Dude, listen to that, that little rat statement. He just talked to her within, a couple of hours? Couple of, a day at most? And now he's pretending, oh, I know who that is. Yeah, you know who it is, because your little fucking rat ass went to her and pointed the barrel of the gun that you gave her at Callisto. It's so malicious. So malicious.
I think Callisto can resolve this issue with them. He's planning on sending an email to her. That would probably be the best option there, if I'm being honest. It is ultimately her art, so it's out of my hands. He could talk to her through her emails. I know for YouTube copyright claims, assuming there aren't ones where you're struck immediately, you basically have 7 days to remove the content, or you'll get struck, unless you can reach a compromise. It's why currently, I actually have a false strike against my channel from an anti-woke AI channel that I guess I pissed off a while back for using the heel versus babyface remix in a video, Lamau. I don't know if you saw that entire situation, but it was pretty ridiculous, because the AI channel didn't make the remix even. This is completely absurd. Noah is obviously playing dumb here, as if he wasn't the who showed her the video and told her to strike it. To me, there is no other way to see this other than bold-faced lying. The worst part here—
It's not just bold-faced lying either. It's bold-faced manipulation. He knows exactly what he's doing, down to the very word he says. So all of the stuff where he is like, oh, well, I didn't see it that way, or that's valid, or all of that is just absolute bullshit, because he's the one that you can see in all of this that he's the one that instigated. He's the one that pretended to not know. He's the one that tried to keep everybody from talking to each other.
And the one I would highlight the most is that whilst he's talking to Kinoflex and Callisto and saying that Callisto should send an email to Deus, here's what he's saying to his artist Deus at the exact same time. Heads up, it sounds like Callisto is preparing to email you. I just ignore him when it's sent. Not worth the energy. Whilst he's literally working against Kinoflex and Callisto, he's telling them that he just doesn't want drama and asks if they can tweet out defending him on his behalf. And you know what? They agree. In this sense, he's also shifting the blame away and onto the artist who did it. Feeling the online tide shifting, Noah directed Deus to remove the strike. The next day, people like Wargaming Dad and Noah's co-host Simon were out in spades defending Noah from the suspicion put forward by various drama channels. Their logic was that this was Noah's artist, and there was no proof Noah was guilty. Whilst this was going on, Wargaming Dad was messaging Noah, and the more he inquired into the situation, the more defensive Noah became. It's been resolved. An artist friend of mine copyright struck Callisto apparently out of nowhere.
Noda didn't tell me to remove the strike.
Without permission.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's interesting. He pretended to because he didn't want it down, right? I removed it after Callisto emailed me. Gotcha. So a little mistake in there then. But I mean, sifting through all of this, it's still pretty absolutely nuts.
Was him using her to promote his ideas or whatever. Callisto reached out to her, and I did too. Seems she pulled the claim, thankfully. Okay, good. Yeah, me and Simon VC'd her too to confirm. Cool. Simon says he didn't commission the art used. No, it was free, so that threw another wrench into it. I didn't pay 18th, right after my autism stream. I know what he's referring to, but this just sounds funny. Okay, can I see the bottom message?
Does.
I'm going on Dicker's stream today, and I want the timeline straight. Yeah, good plan. Can I use the screenshot, and can I get the whole bottom message? Sure, let me get the full thing. I will say here, this girl is wrong. Even though it's her art, people using that art in a thumbnail to make a video about you does not go against copyright.
It looked fine. I didn't see anything that said it was bad down.
I think she does not understand fair use. Motherfucker, who do you think told her about fair use and how to issue the copyright strike? It was you.
Right, dude. This is the statement I think that pissed me off the fucking most about it. Is he's flat out lying to me about I don't think she understands how fair use is. This is completely the opposite of like what he's telling her and what he's telling everybody else, right? He's pretending to be completely dumb. It's a flat out lie. There is no other way to do it. He knows he's lying. He knows he's lying to me. He knows he's lying to Callisto. He knows he's lying to Deus and all of us. And it just absolutely pissed me off when I finally realized what was happening.
This is so pathetic, pretending like he wasn't even there when he was. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it cannot be understated how many times this guy just blatantly lies. Mr. She doesn't understand fair use was telling Deus this after she put the strike on.
Good to know, Brave. Good game to play. This one I really like this game, and now that it's close to 1.0, I'm more willing to dive into it and see what's going on.
No. Thanks, Deus. You honestly could have made it an instant strike based on how much they use your material. You were definitely nicer about it than I would have been, but glad it's being dealt with.
You see what he's telling her while he's telling me the opposite, while he's telling Callisto the fucking opposite? It's so manipulative. It's so fucking evil.
King hell. I agree. I think she does not understand fair use. Most don't. I don't like the conclusion, but if all parties are happy, then it's settled. Just know Dickers is going to drop this clip on me. Yeah, that's why I sent it to you in advance. What is your relationship going forward? If it was me, I would change profile pictures so she doesn't do this again. Thanks. I am planning on that, yeah. I figured just doing the investigation thing. Talk about the worst time to do it during the quartering drama. 100%. Seems most reasonable people know what actually happened though.
It was the worst time to do it because he was the quartering.
True. After Wargaming Dad goes on Dickers' stream, the questions he's asked on there prompt him to start looking further into the situation, and when he starts to get into contact with the artist and get her side of the story, Noah goes into complete panic mode. So Wargaming Dad at 3:17 PM says, one final question, did you decide to talk to her before or after the Diorio tweet? An hour later he says, is it possible to talk to Deus? Noah replies 2 minutes later, I'm streaming right now, hang on. 8 minutes later, Wargaming Dad says, no problem, I got her. And then after an hour...
And that's the moment he knew and he fucked up.
Noah gets wind of it and he says, leave Deus alone please. This is not helping anything. She just called me. Tell others to leave her alone as well. She is saying you asked her to copyright strike it. Is that true? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No.
It's funny looking back at this, but I was fucking pissed. I was pissed. You just know his sphincters clench when he hit red. No problem, I got her. Man, I would like to be a fly on the wall when he read that message.
The reply? You need to let me into this call, bud. Oh, no, buddy. And whilst he's trying to wrangle Wargaming Dad from uncovering his lies, here's what he's saying to Deus, who, to be clear, is the same person he's throwing under the bus whilst talking to Wargaming Dad. Do not speak to Wargaming Dad yet. I am concerned about what's going on. He's asking me about the whole Callisto thing. Just ignore him for now. He's another drama tuber. I will talk to you when I'm done streaming. Why is he in your Discord then? I think he got the link because it is public.
I got the link because he had me come into the link, right? We were friends. I had watched one of his videos. He had come into my chat multiple times, right? I was posting my videos in his little creator thing. So yeah, I mean, we knew each other pretty well, I would say at that point.
I'll kick when I'm done. He's asking if you approached me. Do not say anything yet. I will call you. This is the worst thing Noah's done yet in his career. This is the type of stuff that haunts you like a spectre long after it's happened, and deservedly so. Words cannot describe how manipulative this entire progression of events is. It's clearly a lie gone buck wild. But the amount of people who Noah simultaneously over is incredible. First of all, the artist, Deus Marionette. Noah gets his artist involved, encourages and instructs them to strike down a video critical of him using her artwork. He is the very person who painted out this video and immediately suggested
and she's like the one completely not involved in this, right? Deus had nothing to do with all this internet drama and all these internet videos and things like that. You know, so he in my opinion, and I'll bet anything that I'm right, he chose her because he knew she knew nothing about all of this, and he was convinced that he could have her do it without, you know, with her being ignorant to it, right?
Copyright as a solution. Then when the tides turn, Noah throws his artist.
And from my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Deus, my gain, it's because your gain setting is on the mic. Okay, hold on. Test. Test. Hello. Is that really any better? It still feels high. How's that sound? Test. Because it doesn't look like it's pushing as high as it was. All right. There we go. Look, Damaged is my hero. He's my tech support. He's always been there, so I'm glad it's sounding better. Let me know if anything changes. Welcome back to hearing my sensual voice. Funny thing is, I have the gain turned all the way down. So I don't know what's going on there.
Under the bus and says she doesn't understand fair use and it was her idea, she's at fault. It is incredibly snaky to do something like this and also really reckless. As I said before, and as no one knows, the copyright system is a legal system. Imagine if Callisto had money and didn't want to diplomatically settle it. The copyright system is not something you can just mess around with, certainly not whilst using your artist as a human shield. Secondly, Noah did Kinoflex and Callisto dirty. Callisto got a temporary strike on his channel, and regardless of the retract—
Yeah, the only reason he went after Callisto is because he was a small channel. He wouldn't have done this to anybody else. Even some of the guys like Shamu or Nick Andros and that drama, he's not going to go after Dickers. He's not going to go after EFAP or any of those people that make it. He chose Callisto because he was so small.
It would have killed any momentum.
Yeah, I know. He got so many views off of that. And I know he wanted to take a break, but I feel like he could have leaned into it a little bit and probably would have helped him out some. But I understand he wasn't expecting all of this drama to happen.
It had going on the algorithm. This sneaky fucker was giving them a choice to force the video down, either without a strike or with it. Both Callisto and Kinoflex were being lied to by a deceptive freak falsely waving the white flag, and whilst they were going for open communication lines, he was actively dissuading the artist from doing
Quantum
so.
TV,
These two were deceived into even posting tweets supporting him. Their crime is having the standards and generosity Noah doesn't care for. And thirdly, there's some of his most loyal supporters who went out to defend him, specifically his co-host Simon and Wargaming Dad. Both of them went out of their way to defend Noah on streams and faced constant adversity, believing they were backing what was meant to be the truth.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if I would have been right, like if Noah wouldn't have been doing all of this lying and fucking manipulation and shit like that, then I would have, I'm more than willing to go and defend against anybody who I consider a friend, right? If I have all the information and I think I'm right, I'm going to do it. So that's just who I am. And it bit me in the ass with this one. I think either way, I ended up coming out on top against Noah, that we had to go through and find all the fucking, we found everything out, but it's still, egg on my face going in there defending him, and I should have had more information. But I just absolutely couldn't see this dude doing, I couldn't see anybody doing what this guy did in the amount of lies. And all it took was one person to completely, twist it. Yeah, he took advantage of my kindness, right? That's the last time I show kindness to anybody.
Lie to them and actively let them go on to defend him and retroactively embarrass themselves. Then, when his artist asked questions, Noah said that Wargaming Dad was just some drama tuber loser, as if this wasn't a guy he was talking to. And
he didn't have to throw loser in there. But sure, yeah.
Even co-streamed with previously. And to think that at this point in the timeline,
dude, Noah has been in my chat multiple times. Pretty much any time I watched one of his videos for whatever reason, he would come into my chat and talk about it. And he seemed pretty cordial, even though that I disagreed with him on many things. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, I don't glaze anybody, right? Yeah. He knows what Noah was trying to say. That's right. I have differing opinions. The Gatsby mentioned it in the other thing where I was watching Egad's video. Egad's a friend of the channel. I like Egad. I've gone on his stream. I've plans to do more. I don't always agree with him on his ideas, especially when I watch a video, right? Because I'm not just going to take his word as gospel because we're friends. That just isn't me,
This stuff wasn't even public yet, or known to every party involved. Back on Utterly Noah's Discord, he gets news that Dickers has gone live, looking further into the situation. Noah's response? Who cares? Dickers is a loser who just wants drama. I already talked to Kino and Callisto, they do not care. Talking with Kino right now. Unfortunately...
Yeah, that was... You see how he's outwardly showing aggression when he's stepping into a call where he's been caught, right? And he still thinks that he can talk his way out of this somehow. He knows I've talked to Deus. He knows the game is up because this call hasn't started yet, right? Deus, after me and Deus were talking for the hour that we were talking, it was suggested, she wanted to get on a call with Callisto and KinoFlex with Noah and confront him. We just had the messages shown where he's like, yeah, Dickers is the slimy loser, not Noah. He knows the game is up, right? Maybe he thinks that I'm small enough that it's not going to get out to the wider audience. When I had just gotten on Dicker's stream, do you think I'm not going to drop this shit to fucking Dickers now that I know everything's wrong? You think I'm not going to fucking burn him to the fucking ground after he's been lying and manipulating me? Of course not. And the same thing with Deus. He's thrown this person who has nothing to do with any of this shit in the mud to fight with the trolls and the sloppers. Yeah, the game is already up, but he still thinks somehow he's going to talk his way out of it.
Fortunately, Noah's actions were affecting the linchpin of his entire lie. As a result of being the person to strike Callisto's video, Deus Marionette had been getting unwarranted harassment. This and the myriad of questions from Wargaming Dad finally made Noah crack. He pulled Deus and KinoFlex into a private call and confessed everything.
In that call, I thought it was going to be, oh no, she's going to yell at me or tell me to go on some rant or something. But what I ended up hearing was Noah confessing that.
This is almost a copy for me, Callisto or KinoFlex. I remember going into the message. I got a hold of her. I pinged her on Noah's Discord. She DM'd me. I was actually surprised she DM'd me. I didn't think I was even going to get that. We got into the call and we were talking back and forth. And here I am thinking I'm about to have an argument with a Twitter artist. was my thought about what copyright is and why you shouldn't copyright and stuff like this, right? And then she hits me with the, someone told me to do it, and I was just like, I was flabbergasted. I was like, what? And she wouldn't tell me for a while, right? She was holding it to the chest, but I already knew at that point, like, who else would it be? Who else would be the person that did it but Noah, right?
He pressured.
This would be sad if it were so funny and dumb. I know. Like I said, I was pissed when this was first going on. But after the fact, I look back on this drama and it's hilarious. And honestly, it's how he did you dirty and called you just another drama channel that pissed me off the most. I could care less, honestly, that he just called me a drama channel. It was more of the like direct lies, right? Like, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I could give a shit. But yeah, it was suddenly I was no longer friend of the channel. I was just some drama channel that snuck into his Discord to cause problems, right? I was trying to cause problems with Deus
into taking down the video, and he lied to her and said that there was racism in it and that it would make her look bad. Deus said that she was like really overwhelmed by the amount of people coming to her, like calling her a bitch, like calling her evil, essentially, because they don't understand why she was false copywriting Callisto's video. I was just like sitting there like horrified because, oh my god, I've essentially been on the wrong side of this this controversy the entire time. It was Noah the entire time.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so I felt terrible.
Exactly how I felt.
Immediately I said, okay, I'm going to bring Callisto into this so you can tell him yourself.
Well, it's like, even at this point, like, but before this call, Kinoflex was defending Noah, being like, no, it's just the artist. We're trying to get it settled. We're making a compromise. Whatever you want to say for it. He's on full defense of Noah, a guy he's been in controversy with, because he just couldn't believe that it was Noah who reached out to his artist to get all this done. Noah dragged everyone into the mosh pit and expects to leave unharmed. True. You don't fucking jump in the mosh pit with a fucking boar. You get the tusks. That was so gay.
This eventually leads Kinoflex to drag Noah's ass onto Dickers' show for a confession. And well, you can hear how completely caught he is.
We just got off a call with Noah, Callisto, his artist Deus, and our mutual.
But he's even not, like, when you listen to the whole call and then you listen to the call that they had in the background with him when that leaked, like, he's still thinking that there's some way, he's got some out he can make to make this work. Like, he even started at the very beginning of where he had been defending himself with Dickers, and they had to drag his ass all the way through it, right? They had to drag his ass all the way back through it. I'm all about aggression. What does it say? It didn't show up on my thing. I'm all about aggression, aggressive penetration, Warcraving Dead 2026. I didn't say that. Don't you clip that.
Friend Jan, we were talking about this for a good amount of time, and we came to some disturbing revelations. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just let Noah speak for himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't, right? Noah. What are your thoughts on that, Kino?
Noah,
Hello? Yeah, so I originally made Deus aware of Callisto's video.
You see?
And that's what...
Aware. I made her aware. And even still fights back that this isn't his fault, right? He didn't they're gonna show it, but he didn't he wasn't the one that did the copyright strike, so he's not at fault for it, right? It's not his fault. Funny because him lying on my face and recording me without me knowing, and I can stomach because that's a personal betrayal, but betraying people who I consider friends is pissing me off more than anything. Well, I appreciate that, Simon. I think he got his just deserves. Like, he's forever going to be ostracized for what he's done. Now he's sitting on his little channel, burning viewers, and apparently there's more to come.
Why he struck it down?
Okay, but why? Why did she
No,
come to that conclusion?
Okay, don't
Because
worry.
she thought it was
Explain
racist,
it
and I
to
thought
me,
it was racist.
Explain it to me, because I'm...
Now, even here, Noah doesn't have the courage to tell the whole truth. He says that he showed Deus the video on...
Noah forever sentenced to the cuck chair. So true, Kamoji. So true. Noah the cuck daughter.
Called it racist, which is why she struck it down. What he doesn't mention is that he specifically instructed her on how to go through the YouTube copyright system.
Well, what did you do besides thinking that it was racist?
Here's what I think happened with the DMs between Deus and Noah. Told her art was in a racist video. She was disgusted, and then he used her disgust to manipulate her into doing his dirty work. Yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it. He made it. He start out with hitting something as like hard as possible that's going to catch them off guard, and then you tell them what they need to do, right? Because that wasn't what it was at all. Noah just didn't like that, that Callisto had said what he said, that he didn't like the video of being called out.
Specifically, I thought it was racist because of a section in there about Sweet Baby Inc. and also a section in there about Django Unchained in Tarantino movies.
Wow, so after all this time, we finally have our reason on why Noah thought the video was racist. Now, the part that he's referring to is a section where this Sweet Baby Inc. person criticizes the film Django Unchained for not being focused enough on slavery and being black, and how it focuses more on Dr. Schultz than it does Django. He doesn't get his moment to go off. Here's what Callisto had to say.
Django Unchained is a great western. It's bold, written and paced well, has explosive action, phenomenal performances, a satisfying arc and ending. Every single objection that this individual has is explained in the narrative. Django starts off as a slave. The reason why someone like Schultz has the best lines and monologues is most likely due to his formal education. And before Django can do this, he has to learn how to read. Before he can make executive decisions on how to tackle a mission, he probably needs to learn how to be a bounty hunter. Thus, the entire ruse to get Django's wife back without being put in a compromised situation, which is why Django would defer to Schultz on how to conduct such an operation. Even as she constantly references how the film Blazing Saddles does genre correctly through the prism of identity, she then has to admit that it fails in its depiction of Native Americans.
But the fact is...
That's such a weird, I love Blazing Saddles. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But it's weird to say the black representation was good, but the Indian representation wasn't. I mean, it was absurdly racist for that very reason, right?
While Blazing Saddles is a triumph for me, it is an abject failure at portraying its indigenous characters. And it fails because Brooks made sure
Oh, it's such a good movie. Finish it.
to interrogate his bias and privilege in relation to blackness, but he didn't offer the same respect or care to the only people who can, in my opinion, truly transform Westerns as a genre.
Now, I was watching this thinking, hey, where's the racism? And I believe I may have found the comment Noah was referring to. Listen, guys, if you're sensitive, prepare yourself. If there are children in the room, block
You hear that, guys? Disclaimer.
their ears right now, because this clip may be setting off a few race riots as we speak.
Another former employee of Sweet Baby Inc. came out and said that for her game Validate, it was important to not have any white people on the team, as white people would just microaggress on everybody at the company, and I guess that would just be one giant HR nightmare. Man, I wonder why someone would object to Sweet Baby Inc. To any reasonable person, this alone would disqualify such a group from having input.
I don't know that I've ever defended Sweet Baby Inc., but a lot of the fucking boogeyman shit around them is fucking overplayed, right? It's just that everything that they make is woke slopper anytime a game comes in. And the problem is they hit games that end up being good, right? So, we're getting a little off topic from Noah. So, but they have said insane shit in the past, and this is the kind of stuff, and this is why they get a lot of the hate that they do get.
But on various narratives. Now, maybe utterly Noah agrees. Maybe he does think that Django Unchained would be better off if the sensitivity readers at Sweet Baby Inc. were able to edit the script so they could center blackness or whatever buzzword bull they would come up with. Or maybe he just didn't do any research into the group, I don't know.
Just to remind you, this is the basis upon which Noah decided that Callisto was a raging racist deserving of copyright smiting. Yeah, I don't believe that.
My motivation was to not have her associated with a video that I personally deemed as racist.
He's
but
still
she's not associated.
Still at the end, he's lying. It's always circles back to Sweet Baby fucking Inc. It does. And listen, Sweet Baby Inc. has already ruined their reputation in a lot of ways. Yes, they get into some games, but my guess is very minor roles with things like that. I do not think they have any great influence over the industry, right? They were going after that Winter's Hollow game the other day, and they're like, oh, they're getting into the indie games, and I was like, they've probably already been in indie games. Anyone can call a consultant for whatever reason that they want. It still is the dev's game, right? When you can show me proof that they're like this deep conspiracy that is completely trying to erase white people from gaming, then I'll think differently. Otherwise than that, you can fucking forget them.
With it, nobody knows that she's drawn that profile picture. In fact, she doesn't even have a Twitter account.
One of my mods.
How would that be a valid copyright strike? Noah.
True.
It's a transformative thumbnail.
Well, I think she was I figured she would be more interested in seeing the art changed.
If she just wanted the art to change, shouldn't she have just sent an email or a DM? No, it's not just that. You actively discouraged her
honestly,
from responding
even if she sent an email or a DM, Callisto could just say, hey, fuck you, it's fair use, right? I doubt he would have said it that way, right? But a lot of people focused on, well, he could have just removed the art and things like that, but it's still a false copyright claim. Did someone say trans bisexual lighting strikes again? I still need to get a bisexual filter on here.
Callisto's email. This is just crazy.
Callisto and we thought that you didn't know anything about it and that this artist was acting on her own behalf. You didn't know anything about it. Why would you word it in the way that just throws her under the bus? I just don't get it.
Well, I don't know what to say there, honestly. I don't remember how I worded it specifically. So
I can tell you. He was sent a copyright claim from somebody I know, but I was not responsible for it.
Because I was not responsible for making that claim.
You were responsible. You sent it to her, the video. He was sent a copyright claim from somebody I know, but I was not responsible for it. That was just a lie, wasn't it?
Well, that wasn't a lie because I showed her how to do it. I wasn't responsible for it.
This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Can we just nuke this guy's house, please? Noah's logic is that if his name wasn't on the strike, he wasn't responsible.
It's sad because Deus wanted to be invisible on the internet, and because Noah was so petty at a video, he had to drag her ass into the public and make her involved. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think she'll be able to skim back into the unknown, but she will always be known in a way for this drama, right? Her name is in the drama, in the public sphere. I don't think she's going to have any more trouble with it. But it's there, right? Someone who wanted to not be a part of it, just wanted to do art for people for fun and making a little extra money.
Boom. This is despite the fact he showed her the video.
I showed her how to do it. It's not my fault. It's that thing. I brought her the gun. I showed her how to use the gun, to load it. I pointed her the gun at the person I wanted her to shoot, and I told her to pull the trigger. But it's not me. It's not my fault.
He said the video was racist, and he brought up the idea of a copyright takedown. Again, remove him from the equation in an alternate scenario. Would this ever have happened with the artist acting on their own?
So you were responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
You told us to do it.
I showed her how to do it.
Yeah, brought it to her attention, gave her a reason why she might want to do it. You're the content creator she likes, right? You're a friend of hers. But you were responsible for it. You were one of the people responsible for it. You were
I would say I was one. Yes, I was responsible for sending her the whole copy.
He's trying to swarm his little fucking weaselly way out of it. I was only lightly responsible.
The right thing that Camelot had sent me before, and also letting her know about the video to begin with. Yes.
W shifting blame, dude. Well, I was responsible, but only for sending her something that someone else sent me. No, mate.
So when did you come to the realization that you've made an awful mistake?
When I talked to Deus, and I could tell she was incredibly stressed out about all this.
When Wargaming Dad said, she told when Wargaming Dad said, "It's okay, bud, I got her."
Wait, so you only care about it because Deus was stressed. You put her in the firing line. So here we are.
I'm not defending these reporting tools, but if the video was racist, he could have issued a hate speech report. Yes, there's actual channels for that.
Well, Deus Marionette. She says, "I'll wait a day. I'll reply. Thinking about how to word it. Like, thank you for removing my art. You need permission from the artist before using it to promote your work." So wait, hold on. She's coming to you to ask how to, like, deal with the drama during it. So you know that she's stressed during this time. Okay. That's fine. We can move on.
You told me that she was stressed out about this.
Yeah, that was today.
So you said, here is what she said about replying to Callisto. Looks like she will reply, but wait a bit. I imagine because of her being stressed right now. Wait, I didn't even read the second line of the DMs. You're describing it yesterday as being stressed. You're in the screen share, right?
I'm looking at your stream on a different tab.
So you understand that you yourself admit yesterday.
He doesn't even know how to use. He doesn't even know how to use Discord to watch the screen share.
Right now, that she is stressed. So when you just tried to claim that she wasn't stressed, that was a lie, right?
Well,
Again, you said this directly to me, Noah.
Noah?
Yes.
That was a lie, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So when you're earlier saying to Wargaming Dad that she doesn't understand fair use, you're the one who doesn't understand fair use, right? I mean, why would you say that? What's the motivation there? Why are you saying that about her?
I don't know. That is how Callisto's video was taken down. I wouldn't even say, like,
yeah, he's reading chat is what's happening in that. He wants to know what everyone says. Like, listen, if you're in a drama talking to someone, like if you're going on here to debate or whatever, have a conversation with someone, if it's not like a carefree situation, like when I have people on my channel and, you know, we're talking back and forth and, you know, you can read a chat. Well, if it's something like serious, don't read fucking chat, especially if you know they're being mean to you. Just don't feed into that.
Dislike your video. I think it's just like
that you do dislike.
You're telling me to delete it, bro.
I dislike your video. I dislike your video because like the racism, but also I think there's some. Yeah, I dislike your video. I'll dislike your video.
Okay, so you dislike the video, so you want it taken down? Like, what is this? And then you lie to me to my face?
At this point, I'm convinced this guy is a compulsive liar who is just trying to get out of everything. He will lie about things he's just said, about things on screen. He's desperately trying to leave unscathed and stepping on so many rakes in the process. That doesn't mean he's not a liar, that just means he's a bad one. Over the next hour or so, Noah is constantly challenged on many things and either concedes or goes dead silent. A couple times he even leaves just to join back again. It's a brutal affair, fitting for someone who's lied this much so far. And if you think this is too harsh, consider that at this point, they don't even know the timeline we do. There is still stuff Noah is hiding, and his silence is just buying time to hope they forget about it. But there's one clip worth looking at, the true reason behind his strike.
Why were you being manipulative?
Because I did not like seeing that video.
So you were manipulating one of your friends to take it down because you didn't like the video. Is that correct?
Dude, if you're gonna make if you're gonna make these kinds of videos, if you're gonna go after grizzly bears and all that other stuff, you have to expect someone to make a video back on you, right? There's going to be people who don't agree with you, and they're going to make these hit pieces. If you gotta not let your ego stroke that, right?
Yes.
Did you want the video taken down because it was a 2.5-hour hit piece that criticizes you, and that was the only reason?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the only reason why Utterly Noah convinced his artist to take down the video is because he disliked Callisto's video. That is legitimately the only reason. The racism stuff was just a front. It's because the media critic got mad that someone criticized him. That is what led to this spiral of lies. We are now finally caught up with the whole plagiarism and copyright strike situations and how Noah caught my attention in the first place. Now, I have a lot more to talk about, but we can't keep going. I kind of saw the runtime was going to be like 2 hours, and I just couldn't. Kudos to Calesto for going that long in his own video, but that's not quite my tempo. Still, I'll confess. As soon as Noah's copyright scandal was known to the public, I made a few calls, and within a day or so, I was getting constant leaks of Noah's Patreon-only Discord server. To be honest, didn't really expect much, but Noah really likes to talk in there, and the leaks that have come out as a result have been eye-opening, and in part 2, I will be presenting the best of the bunch.
This I didn't expect at the end, because I mean, I really hadn't been saying much about Noah since then. I had heard that there was a video coming out, but then I see all of these messages in Discord where he's like trying to drag my name and KinoFlex's name through the mud in his little fucking Discord and shit like that, still talking all of that shit game behind the scenes, when in reality he's a fucking little weasel splayed over on his back, like begging you not to fucking destroy him again for something he's done. I can't wait to see what part 2 is going to bring.
For the public. But just for you, here's a little preview.
Hello, you hear me? Yeah, I hear you. I wanted to clarify with you specifically up front that when Deus put the, when she got, put the claim on Calesto's video, I was the one who told her specifically about that video, just because of the art. Okay, you told her, but you didn't tell her to place a copyright claim on it, right? I did not tell her specifically. I did not command her to do that. Why make the copyright claim in the first place? Just because...
Because Noah suggested I take it, or I do a copyright strike.
I did not. Well, I gave that suggestion. I did not.
It's funny though how my name hardly comes up when he talks in his Discord, right? Jeff is a what is they call it, a lapdog. Who is Jeff? Like, which one of his little defenders is Jeff? Because I know even some of the other, like, more hardcore guy, the other person that copyright struck, the Truge, has kind of turned against Noah too, right? Lightly, I would say.
Specifically command her to do that, though.
And then you gave me the link
Noah's
to how
biggest
to
defender.
copyright strike.
Art taken down.
Always
You gave me
Jeff.
the link on how to do a copyright
Jeffs
strike.
just seem to be awful people.
I'm just a little
Jeff
confused as to
Hyatt,
why it would
2K4.
get to that go to that extreme.
Don't ask me, ask Noah. He's the
Yeah. So. So there it is. The drama laid out by Toastify. I guess the other video is let's go here. Is members only. I wonder if he's planning on releasing that one then. Yeah, here it is. Utterly Noah Discord leaks and more. So I'm probably going to watch it offline at least. He seems to be somewhat on the fence. Jeff the yeah, he's pretty cool, huh? So we'll see. I'll probably watch that offline. If he brings it publicly, I'll watch it, or if he says I can or something like that. I doubt Toastify will reach out to me at all. But there it is. If you want to go watch the Discord leaks and more, we will have to do that. Toastify did well on that video, I think, bringing it all together. So let me hold on. In Austrineers, I need to. All right, I'm all filled up on fuel. Right. Let's make sure all of my batteries are good, because we're probably about to go right out. So if this Jeff Defender wants to come on and talk about it, I mean, I'm willing to talk to him about his defenses of Noah and the real person that Noah is. That one's only got 3,000, but that's fine. That's fine. I can potentially blow myself up by filling it up. Do I have a fuller battery? We're about to go off into space again. Why do I have my Oh, because I was in space. Why do I have my helmet on still? Take that off. All right, yeah, let's trade that battery out. 3 full batteries. Boom. Meet my little ship as it grows. I'm starting. This is the Missing Necropolis is the name of my ship. And in this back area that's all dark right now. Let's go. This is probably, I'm going to have to make it bigger. But this is where I'm going to build my nuclear reactor. And I think I'm going to build a cargo area right here for when I'm wrecking ships, breaking ships, that they can just go in, break a piece of the wall, and go back and forth in with no atmosphere, and just bring stuff in, and then I can re-atmosphere it and let them repair things when I finally do decide to get a crew. But for now, the big thing is trying to get power so we can eventually, I don't have to worry about it as much when we're going out. So the next video on the docket for today, I saw this right before the Noah video went public, or not public, went membership only. Yeah, Gargly Boogly apparently has an exposed video from Remnant. Now, I got my first impression of Remnant wasn't really like a good one. It kind of like it was his cherry video, his cherry interview, if you want to say it, and some of his ideas of promiscuity and things like that, I think, are incredibly warped and retarded. But let's see what he has to say about Anthony, because I don't really like Anthony either. I think Anthony is a scumbag just as much as Noah is, in a way. So we'll watch through this video. I only lightly know some about Anthony, things that I've been told. I haven't watched a lot of his videos, like 1 or 2. So just know that going in, I may not know a particular thing that he's talking about. So it's either like I take it at his word or I go look it up.
A guy saying that the left can't take criticism, and then his immediate next video is response to the criticism from this video calling his critics mentally ill. There's something very funny about that. You just can't make this shit up.
But you literally just did. You literally just made all of that up.
As much as I'd love to indulge you with your EFAP audition tape, I already addressed the idea of objective criticism in media in another video.
At the time, I had no idea who he was talking about here, but he seems to be obsessed over these people.
The problem is you don't even understand.
Grogmuglia has always been a slimy weasel from my experience. The lies he spreads about Knights of Melvin being a PDF using obviously fake screenshots with wrong names. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Understand why you're wrong. That's the tough part here. That's the sad part here.
He is such a smug yapper. Don't you just love him?
Shut the f*** up. Shutting the f*** up is a free action that can spare you from possibly shoving the entire boot that you're looking down your throat.
Yep, that's who we're going to be dealing with today. Editor's note, I gotta include this. This is too funny not to mention. Anthony made a hilarious community post where he tried to preemptively debunk the things he thought I was gonna say in this video. He thought this video was gonna be me accusing him of getting a channel deleted for criticizing him. Spoiler alert, I wasn't going to accuse him, so I didn't have to change my video at all. I quote,
I could dismiss this as a baseless accusation, but I want to go one step further and completely ruin his response to me days before it drops.
Every time there's a criticism, it's from a mentally well person. True.
Providing definitive proof this accusation is baseless. I hope that didn't ruin your month's work, as it was almost done, buddy.
This attempt he made to preemptively debunk my video was a disaster. His post didn't set me back whatsoever, like he was originally hoping, address any of the claims I make against him in this video. And worst of all, he leaked his YouTube email address to the public for literally nothing because what he calls quote-unquote definitive proof didn't prove anything. But more about that near the end of the video. It's just too comical not to bring up. That's the type of guy we're going to be talking about in this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh boy. So a few weeks ago, Anthony Cremuglia made a video on me called No. Left.
Dude, all of these guys like that are in here are gonna make me sound more anti-woke. Just talking about, you know, some of these fucking retarded wokies who are trying to go after the what they call the anti-woke grifters, right? Y'all know my stance. If you want to know my stance on it, there are very few people I will call an actual grifter. It's a pretty small list. Most people, I believe, in some way, shape, or form, actually believe in what they're saying in some capacity. They just refuse to look at anything else and eventually get stuck in that audience capture where they can't make up their own opinions, right?
Between art is not mentally ill. A response to Remnant777.
Honestly, I really hate him. He's up there with short, fat otaku, but unlike Dev, he hasn't said I deserve to be killed for my political beliefs yet.
Which is really funny, because here he is to debunk the narrative that the left can't take criticism, and that they aren't mentally ill. And to prove the left's mental stability, he hired a thumbnail artist to draw himself getting ready to stab me. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know whose point he's trying to prove with that one. Mind you, what's even more funny is that
it's just art. We make like we make clickbait thumbnails to attract attention. Saying that that's mentally ill is kind of retarded. The right guys, like being a guy who is I guess right leaning in my politics and on the right, I've laughed at some pretty horrendous memes and thumbnails, and I don't think I'm well. At the time, I don't think I was mentally ill. I still, or mentally ill for doing it, right?
That a sizable amount of his own audience doesn't even disagree with the notion that left-wing art is mentally ill. They're just upset if you call it a bad thing. I swear, if I'm...
Okay, let's go back here. Boop.
Funny is that a sizable amount of his own audience...
All right, the fact he's, what do we got? We got bigger. The fact he is using mentally ill and disabled as insults is really telling, especially when so many groundbreaking artists were disabled. Anyone who has any knowledge of art history would take mentally ill as a compliment for their art. I mean, these are fucking like basic takes, right? Yes, a lot of artists, like they say the tortured artist for a reason, right? A lot of artists end up committing suicide or other things like that. So I don't really see this being like that off, right? You can say, I would say anyone who's willing to get online on a stream or make videos about all this crazy shit has some form of mental illness.
Doesn't even disagree with the notion that left-wing art is mentally ill. They're just upset if you call it a bad thing. I swear, if I made a video called Left-wing art is mentally ill, and here's why it's a good thing, they wouldn't even be mad at me. But the worst part about this whole video is Anthony doesn't even address what I say in the video. Instead, he decided to be one of the biggest lying snakes I've ever encountered, which is a huge claim for me to make. Not only am I stating that he's misrepresenting me, but I'm claiming that he's intentionally lying about me, which requires evidence. It requires me to demonstrate that's the case. And ironically, most of this video isn't even me exposing Anthony. No, it's Anthony from a year ago exposing his current self. Everything his entire channel is built upon, the behavior he criticizes and calls grifting, is exactly what he did to me, verbatim.
One of my favorite artists, Terry Rendell, took up painting in South Dakota landscapes recovering from a motorcycle accident when he was like 18 or 19. Yeah, there's a lot of vets in one way or another that'll take up some sort of art to deal with the trauma. Like, art essentially lets you express yourself, and sometimes that breeds great art. and great things come from it, even though the mind that built it is tortured, right?
Anthony cannot live up to his own standards he sets for other individuals. So in essence, this video largely isn't even me responding to his arguments. After all, it's kind of challenging to make a defense for things you didn't even say. So with those parts of the video, it's simply me clarifying my own position on the matter, while exposing his lies and manipulative tactics he employs throughout the entire video. It's actually very fascinating, believe it or not, because at the end of the day, if Anthony lived up to his own standards, he would have to call himself out as a grifter, as a terrible media critic, and according to himself, somebody that shouldn't be taken seriously at all. It's that bad. And to demonstrate everything I'm saying here, I'm going to show footage of him constantly contradicting himself.
Okay, we get it. We get it. Fucking get to the video. This whole thing could have been shorted down to like a couple of minutes. But here we are, fucking 5 minutes into the video, and we're still going on with like the same things. It's going to be his stuff, and I'm going to prove him wrong with his comments and all of these other things. Let's get to that
video and his entire channel. By the way, Anthony, if you're watching this,
Look, you
if you claim I'm taking anything you say out of context or misrepresenting it, prove it. I've seen videos of you criticizing other people and claiming that they're misrepresenting you, leaving out context or twisting things, but then you openly refuse to show any evidence for your claims against them.
It's funny how when you take ideas out of context, there's more to it than that. It's funny how when you only include about 5 seconds of a clip, you leave out some key details. Why did you cut the clip that way, by the way, dude? Why didn't you show a little ahead of it, a little after it? What happens if you show a little bit more of the
taking out of
clip?
context.
Should I?
Yep.
I don't want to because I don't want to look at my face in that shot, but I digress.
He did this to see Animus many times. Just claiming somebody took something out of context, misrepresented you, or lied about you doesn't work here. You have to prove it. And that's what I'm going to do with you. But without further ado, let's begin.
I wish he would have shown clips of that, right? I don't know the whole thing around Anthony and Remnant or this guy that he mentioned. Let's like show me the evidence like you're saying that he needs to show of it where that was happening, like this clip and that clip. Hopefully that's what he's going to show in here.
What is good art? Expressive perhaps, emotionally resonant, something powerful that sticks with you. But is good art merely the style, the technique you incorporate? Or is it something deeper, something that enriches the soul? And can you look at something and go, yeah, that art kind of sucks. That art looks unfinished, but they can do this to improve. Is there such a thing as objectively good art? Well, if YouTube's to be believed, then hell yeah there is. And if you don't follow the guidelines, your art is mentally ill. Something I'm sure is just a euphemism for wanting to say the certain gamer word that's become popular online. The subject
Retard? Is he talking about retard?
Discussion is YouTube video essayist Remnant777 and his video Why Left-Wing Art Looks So Mentally Ill, as well as his response to some of his critics in regards to this video. The core of this thesis is in the title. Remnant777 believes that leftist art is demonstrably mentally ill.
Where do I begin? This guy who gets offended and thinks the word retard is a slur is going to debunk the idea that the left is too sensitive to take real criticism. He thinks I'm trying to subtly hint at the idea that left-wing art is actually retarded. Buddy, I said what I actually meant in the video. I think left-wing art looks mentally ill. If I thought it looked retarded, I would just say it. It ain't that...
Are we going to play these like word fucking games? Oh, you forgot that I said the word look. Like, it's going to make me go back and watch the stupid fucking video about art. Left-wing art is mentally ill. Like, you're setting yourself up so that you can walk it back when you use a phrase. I said it looks mentally ill. Yeah, you're saying looks so that if someone criticizes you, you can pull back and say, well, you know, I said it looks mentally ill, not that it is mentally ill. What was the video insinuating when we're talking about what is mentally ill and what's not in art?
Deep. You're seeing patterns and noise and...
Yeah, they're going to play this insanely pretentious game It's what they do.
Anthony, you're overanalyzing these things. You're hearing words that were never spoken. You know, it reminds me of a clip from Anthony from when he was criticizing what other people had to say.
She boils things down to a level that's overly simplistic when they should be complex, and overanalyzes simple ideas when they're simple.
Anthony's literally doing the "why are the curtains blue" meme. I'll tell you right now as the writer, Anthony, the curtains are just blue. There's nothing deeper to it. Anthony does have really good criticisms at times. It just needs to be redirected at himself, though. And this is a reoccurring theme with Anthony. He is very selective when it comes to what he actually hears and what he decides to ignore throughout the entire video. Because with Anthony, everything that I do say and don't say will be used against me, even if you deny the things he says. How do I know this to be true? Because I even flat out to know.
So, all right, why are we not showing what you said? Like, pull your video out. This is what I said. This is why you're fucking wrong. Modern art is I wouldn't call it mentally ill, but simply not art. A blank canvas, a banana duct taped to a wall, etc. Yeah, there's hit this point where people are doing ridiculous things that's not art just to try and say that it is. Now, I've seen things like I went to an art museum, modern art museum not too long ago, and there were some interesting paintings, some that even incorporated like the designs of bananas. But it was like interesting in the art that they were using with it. It wasn't just a banana duct tape to a wall. These are like the few instances of people just being dumb, or, you know, not mentally ill, but being, like you said, just, I don't know, trying to sell stuff to rich people. I don't even know how to put it.
Denied what he said. Because look at this clip. He proceeds to play a few seconds of my video and then cuts me off so he can respond to it before I could finish my thought. The exact same thing he accuses Animus of doing. Why is it that left-wing art looks, frankly, for lack of a better term, mentally ill? It's like these drawings come out of a factory. They all look the same. They all have the exact same theme.
So right now he's not going over the video that was being criticized, right? He's not going over the criticism of what he's saying. He's just basically saying that Anthony Gurguglia is doing things that he said shouldn't be done, instead of actually discrediting the video with the facts of what you said and what you mean.
The same color designs, the same misshapen faces, the uncanny look to it. Why is this?
Now, you're all smart enough to realize the irony of a man saying that all leftist art looks like it's made in a factory, when he is in fact using AI art to communicate the factory itself. It seems kind of ironic that this guy is critiquing
Yeah, that's
art
a dumb
being
take. That
the
has
same,
nothing to do with...
when, as we'll see later on, he encourages all artists to draw from the same set of techniques and skills that he believes are the height of aesthetic pleasure.
I said in that clip, these drawings, they all look the same. Which drawings exactly? The ones I was showing on screen. Granted, in that isolated clip that you specifically cut out, people can easily walk away with the notion that I'm generalizing all left-wing art. The problem is, however, Anthony, this is a fully fledged written out video essay, and you knew everything I had to say before you even posted the video. And you knew I do not believe that all left-wing art looks like it came from a factory. You purposely cut and misrepresented that point, especially given the facts that I specify my point many times throughout the entire video. In fact, mere seconds after you purposely...
I shouldn't have to go watch the other video to find out who is telling the truth here. Yeah, I think his fucking talk about you using AI art in the factory and all that other stuff. But you're not showing me where you said this. You're not showing me how this clip was cut out of context.
They paused it. I say this. But before we dive in, I want to clarify. I'm not saying all left-wing art is weird or ugly or mentally ill-looking. No. Frankly, the majority of art is dominated by the left. Remember, it's fine when he takes me out of context, just not when other people do.
Then what's the whole fucking point of the video? I'm gonna have to watch this fucking video. Like, if you say left-wing art is mentally ill, but most art is left-wing, what are we fucking talking about?
It's funny how when you take ideas out of context, there's more to it than that. It's funny how when you include about 5 seconds of a clip, you leave out some key details.
Yeah.
Why did you cut the clip that way, by the way, dude? Why didn't you show a little ahead of it? A little after it? What happens if you show a little bit more of the clip?
He completely ignores it, even though I said in the exact same video that I don't believe that at all. It reminds me of that time when Aristotle was on Twitter, and he wrote, "It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just pretending to not understand things, thus making discourse impossible." I didn't even say that quote-unquote left-wing art is mentally ill. That wasn't the core premise of the video.
Let me see if I can get proved wrong on this. 777. Where is this video? This is some crazy. Where is this video? Left wing art. Is this video just no longer around? There's contemporary art as a cult. Here is why. What's the title to your video? Dressed. They said the N-word. All right, how far back was this video that's supposedly made? I can't find it either. He probably took it down. Why take the video down if you're gonna fucking make a essay about how wrong fucking Anthony Guguglia is, right? Are you not confident in other people going in and looking at it? Are you getting too much criticism and you don't like it anymore? The fuck is this gay shit? Put the video back up so others can go and watch it and see what's going on, right? Not have to only trust your word on what's going on, right? From my understanding, the video is called Left-Wing Art is Mentally Ill. So that seems like it's the premise of your video. I get it, you're doing clickbait stuff, but there should be some more showing it. Like, you're giving the first impression that you're doing this. I can now not go and watch the video, so all I have to go on is based off of that thumbnail.
We aren't even 1 minute into the video, and he's talking about things that have nothing to do with what I'm saying. He's purposely misrepresenting the core arguments of my video. The video is titled, "Why Left-Wing Art Looks Mentally Ill." What does Anthony say?
The core of this thesis is in the title. Remnant777 believes that leftist art is demonstrably mentally ill.
Anthony, can you not read? Forget media literacy, you're struggling with basic English comprehension. On a serious note, why did Anthony do this? Well, according to Anthony, he's already told us why when he talked about dishonest and bad faith media criticism.
Bad media criticism's ultimate goal, though, is to supplant the original media in your mind. And the way they do that is by sometimes just making shit up.
Before I even had the chance to say anything in his video, he already intentionally replaced my core message of the video from why left-wing art looks mentally ill to making the claim that I'm saying left-wing art is mentally ill. Not only did he supplant the core premise of my video, but he exaggerated it to the point and said that I'm claiming all left-wing art is this way. He changed it from I'm talking about something I see within the left-wing.
I gotta find this fucking video now.
Shut the fuck up. Shutting the fuck up is a free action.
Funny is that a sizable amount of his own audience doesn't even disagree.
I haven't seen someone so much effort to say little. Yeah, it's okay. Does he not show it?
That. He even intentionally left out the part of the video where I said I had a left-wing artist who helped me to drastically looks mentally ill. What does Anthony say?
The core of this thesis is in the title. Remnant777 believes that leftist art is demonstrably mentally ill.
Anthony is a perfect example of proof that media literacy means interpreting a piece of media by the correct lens, not the individual person's. Yeah, I could agree with that.
According to Anthony, he's already told us why when he talked about dishonest and bad faith media criticism.
Like, this is him just going through and finding things that Anthony says that contradicts himself. Sure, you can say that, but ultimately this seems to all be about this video of you calling left-wing art mentally ill, a video that you've taken down now, so no one else can critique your saying of it, but you can somehow go after Anthony by saying that he's a grifter because of it, right? You're just doing the left.
Bad media criticism's ultimate goal, though, is to supplant the original media in your mind. And the way they do that is by sometimes just making shit up.
Before I even had the chance to say anything in his video, he already intentionally replaced my core message of the video from why left-wing art looks mentally ill to making the claim that I'm...
You see? See how he's focusing on that word looks? But if it looks mentally ill, why did you just say in your video, the clip that you showed, that there is art that is good? So if it's not good, how does that art look mentally ill? I would like to watch this video and find out.
I'm saying left-wing art is mentally ill. Not only did he supplant the core premise of my video, but he exaggerated it to the point and said that I'm claiming all left-wing art is this way. He changed it from, I'm talking about something I see within the left-wing art community, how and why I think left-wing art looks mentally ill, and changed my claim to I think all left-wing art is mentally ill, which is an absolute lie. I specified this many times in...
So this is just a fucking hour video of you mentioning that I said looks. I didn't say actually.
Both videos that he looked at. He even intentionally left out the part of the video where I said I had a left-wing artist who helped me to drastically improve. In fact, one of the people who taught me, who was able to get my art...
This is just like saying I have a black friend. I have a left-wing artist that helped me improve, see?
...to look better from this to this was a leftist. She was a radical feminist, and she's way more skilled than me. At least if she still does art. I don't know if she does. But specifically in the video, I was trying to target and look at one specific type of style, which is this weird, uncanny type of style. I wasn't addressing modern art nor Soviet art, because one, Soviet art, it's beautiful. I love it. Modern art, everybody's talked about that. Why didn't you include that part into the video, Anthony? I guess it's because it...
But that's not what you said. You said left-wing art looks mentally ill. That's a very broad statement, that all left-wing art looks mentally ill. But now you're saying, oh, well, no, I had a very specific type of art that I was looking into. But that's not what your video seems to be going over. That's not what your title seems to be saying. It's looks mentally ill, left-wing, right? This is playing the same game that you're trying to play with Anthony, right? It's the same. It's words. My words are so important because I said looks. Well, you also said left-wing media, so that encompasses all left-wing media, right?
It doesn't fit the false narrative you're trying to push.
By the way, I don't think that's a fucking retarded thing to say
about me.
They'll either misrepresent scenes, omit key details to make their point land better, or in some cases, lie.
I didn't say the left as a whole isn't good at art, is mentally ill. I was talking about a specific problem and what it's causing that I see him on the left. And you have no excuses for this. I even said that I love Soviet art. It's pure propaganda that inspires you and causes an emotional reaction inside of you. It's extremely compelling. I can separate the artist from the art. What other evidence do we have, though, to suggest that this is intentional manipulation in line? He has gone on record to accuse other people of lying and misrepresenting the things he says, for getting the tiniest details wrong. Oh wait, did I say wrong there? I actually meant to say people quoting him word for word and he simply misremembers what he said and then accuses them of lying. That's how bad this is. For example, Anthony one time made a video claiming that a lot of people only like Godzilla right now because it's doing better than Disney. And then when Animus quoted him on this, Anthony got upset and accused Animus of lying and misrepresenting his point, and claims that he wasn't talking about people in general, he was only talking about a specific group of them.
You're just explaining the same thing you're fucking doing right now. You just did it. 10 minutes ago you said, I wasn't saying all left-wing art, but now Anthony's doing it with Godzilla. But are you kidding me? I'm gonna have a fucking seizure.
In the culture war, despite the fact that he did not specify that.
He goes on to say people only talk about Godzilla in reference and comparison to Disney.
Okay, first off, huge misrepresentation of what I said. I
It's
said
a special
specific
skill.
People involved in the culture war only reference Godzilla in reference to Disney, not people in general. So right there, you're already lying about my video and my argument.
Is that the only way they know how to talk about Godzilla is by drawing a connection to Disney. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of folks love Godzilla right now for one reason, especially in the culture war. It's doing better than Disney.
Unfortunately, Gramuglia seems to have this weird notion that post hoc rewordings expunge previous statements.
That's how strict he is with other people. Anthony will twist his own words after he says them and then claim you're lying about what he said. This is how nitpicky Anthony is to detail. And guess what? I can be extremely charitable to Anthony and still prove he's lying. Even if we granted the idea that you were unintentionally misrepresenting the core premise of my entire video in the first 30 seconds, you simply conflated the idea that left-wing art looks mentally ill with left-wing art is mentally ill. Let's grant you made that mistake by accident. You're still...
He says it again. This doesn't fucking matter to me. This is just you using the word looks as a defense. How many fucking times are you going to say this? Right? You're also using the defense. Well, I was talking about a very specific type of left-wing art, when it's very obvious that your video's thumbnail said left-wing art is mentally ill. And this statement, let's go back a little bit here.
Presenting the core premise of my entire video in the first 30 seconds. You simply conflated the idea that left-wing art looks mentally ill with left-wing art is mentally ill. Let's grant you made that...
right there, left-wing art looks mentally ill. That's a very broad statement, right? Saying that, hey, all left-wing art looks mentally ill. Then you come back and say, no, it's a very specific one. And maybe in the video you do specify in the very beginning that, it's this specific kind, but we can't seem to watch that now. I can't go justify. You're not showing any of this evidence. You haven't shown a single clip from your video proving Anthony wrong. Now, Anthony's statements that I've seen so far are pretty fucking dumb. Right? Just claiming that, because he uses AI, he's, you call it all slop, but you use AI, right? That's not critiquing what he's saying. That's just, what about, right? It's like two people I don't fucking like their takes and their statements.
That mistake by accident. You're still a liar, Anthony, because there's no excuse for you to say that I'm claiming all left-wing art is mentally ill, despite the fact that I said numerous times that I don't believe all left-wing art is a certain way. You have absolutely no excuses for this. You are a liar. You live and die by the standards you set for other people. If Anthony made a video on himself pulling this same shit, you would jump on the bus instantly to call yourself a lying grifter and say that you're not even worth engaging with.
Honest criticism requires honest thought.
So
And that
you're okay with being a lying grifter because what? You believe it's looks versus looks all left-wing grifters? Oh, well, I didn't say it in my video. I said, one particular type. Okay. Why aren't you showing that?
Is culminate in a dopamine hit.
Yeah, it's this fake cultural intelligence, right? I'm acting like I'm so much smarter than you because you mistook the word looks for is. Ha, I have you now.
To the audience, what they want is that dopamine hit 30 seconds in to continue watching.
This makes perfect sense. Anthony exaggerated and misrepresented my entire premise of the video in the first 30 seconds to give that dopamine hit to the audience. It makes it much more engaging. By the way, he said all of this when he was talking about how people give bad faith criticism, what they do when they're grifting. Like, seriously, what am I supposed to do with this, Anthony? Do I have to explain this concept to you as if the temperature outside is higher than your own IQ? Just because something looks a certain way doesn't mean it is that thing. Holy shit. She's fat. Some might even say she looks like a whale.
Do you have a source for that claim that she's actually a whale?
Yeah, this... You fool, you fell for the classic blunder. Like, why aren't we, like, debunking what he says? You're just saying, I even said in my video, I said this in my video. Show us. You even talked about him taking clips out of context. Prove it. It's simple. It's easy to do if this is what you said, right?
I'm not convinced by your argument that she's a massive aquatic creature. Do you even know if she has the capacity to swim? I think you're just assuming that without any evidence.
Bad media criticism isn't simply just disagreeing with someone. It's not saying something you don't agree with. It's when the criticism itself seems to fundamentally misinterpret the piece of media being discussed, even when it's supposedly going through a scene frame by frame by frame.
Anthony, according to himself, gave
That's the thing about art, though, right? Yeah, I'm gonna start, talking about Anthony's shit takes too, so it doesn't feel like I'm just going at Remnant for being a retard. Art can be felt in many different ways, right? Horror in general, like a medium that I really enjoy, can say a lot of things. There's usually like the surface level, whatever it is going on, if it's a ghost story or something like that, a slasher, things like that. But then there's a deeper meaning that usually the director was trying to push for, things like that. You can go something as simple as like Friday the 13th and being about sin being bad, and the surviving female tends to be the pure one out of there, and that's there's I'm not a criticism person, but that's like a very small, almost even surface level idea of one that you can think of that most people understand the meaning for. Other ones can go into a lot deeper meaning, right? So it's not watching it frame by frame and knowing, oh, well, Friday the 13th was literally a Halloween ripoff. I get that. I'm just saying from a very basic term. I'm not a criticism guy. I don't know everything, but you get my meaning behind it, right? There can be more to it than just the frame by frame. And even then, people can get things out of art that maybe the director didn't intend for it, or the artist didn't intend for it. That's just how it works. Yeah, I get it. You're a total horror nut. I'm a very specific horror nut now. Let's use my favorite 90s disaster movie, Outbreak, as an example. You can say it critiques bioweapons, government secrets. I love that movie. Sure, yeah, you can say it, and there's probably even a deeper meaning under it. Godzilla was nuclear war. That's one that is vastly, talked about, and the destruction that it caused, especially the originals. What it became was still great. I love it. But yeah, you're right. There can be deeper meanings under it that people might not get. I might watch the movie and see the artist's rendition of Godzilla being this creature of absolute destruction, representing nuclear war and the fallout that happened afterwards. Someone else can just look at Godzilla and see a horror movie where a giant monster destroys the city.
Terrible media criticism. Certain types of left-wing art look mentally ill, but that doesn't mean I said it actually is. The core concept of
See, here he is again, repeating the same statement. This hour-long video could have been 15 minutes.
I even insinuated was mentally ill in the video wasn't even art itself, but possibly the mindset behind it. The idea that beauty is purely subjective and that people purposely ignore and forego any objective standards to beauty. If you take that literally and you genuinely believe it and apply it in the real world, that comes across as pretty mentally ill to me. And remember,
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm paused.
look mentally ill, but that doesn't mean I said it actually is. The core concept of what I even insinuated was mentally ill in the video wasn't even art itself, but possibly the mindset behind it. The idea that beauty is purely subjective and that people purposely ignore and forego any objective standards to beauty.
I mean, it is subjective if in a lot of different ways. This is just a dumb statement, right? I have a brother, and my stepbrother is all for the fatties. Like, that's what he always ends up dating, what he ended up marrying. That's his objective beauty at that point, right? He's not a bad looking guy. He weighs like he's one of those guys who has like that good bloodline where he can just eat and eat and eat and he still is like rock solid muscle. I had a guy like that in my squad overseas too. That was, I mean, he could just pound 30 pounds of food and then go run a 4 or 5 minute mile. So yeah, it is. So beauty is very subjective, and beauty in a lot of ways can mean a variety of different things. You have the physical beauty, which can sometimes be overlapped by other types of beauty, personality, things like that. It's not a simple black and white, right? That's all these retards online think it's that simple. No, there's so much more to it.
If you take that literally and you genuinely believe it,
beauty back in the old days, you're talking about like Greece and places like that, was a woman who was heavier set because that meant she had money. Our idea of what beauty is has changed so much, even in the last couple of decades, right? It's changed
and applied.
I remember it used to be all about the supermodel types that were thin and all of those other small body, petite, and things like that. But if you really look around now, a lot more people with like thick thighs. The ass is, of course, my favorite person. The ass is really insinuated. I don't even think big tits are all that important anymore on those side. Most people have started to realize the truth, and that is anything more than a handful is a waste. So yeah, I mean, this little take that he's talking about in it is just dumb.
In the real world, that comes across as pretty mentally ill to me. And remember, I even said that most people who claim
that's his what he just said is his subjective opinion, by the way.
That this is true don't even believe it. To these people, they don't believe the things they say. Period. They don't. They view their compliments as an act of charity. I'm being charitable and kind and encouraging these people to feel good about themselves by calling them beautiful, to feel good about the things that they make. It's not honesty. And you know who else has said people lie to themselves? You, Anthony, and you can't give me shit. But if you're arguing that there's subjectivity to beauty, especially when it comes to people and who you're attracted to, who you love, of course there's a bit of subjectivity to it. Yeah.
Then it's not objective at all. If there is even an ounce of subjectivity to it, then it's not objective, right? Objective means that every single person in the world is going to find this person beautiful. This is what the beauty standard is. This is what everyone wants. And that's just not true, right?
Objective basis for beauty, and denial of that, in my opinion, breeds this mental illness I refer to in the video. I would bet that this mentality we have, it breeds mental illness. It breeds delusion.
You know what also breeds mental illness is telling everybody that this is what the beauty standards are. It was a problem that we fought back in the old days when I was a kid. You know, you're beautiful for who you are, and has led, you know, to all the modeling magazines that this is the perfect woman. This is what women should look like. This is you know, the what it should be. So what did women start doing? They started getting plastic surgery. They're paying surgeons to cut into their body, to post it, to the point that we get people getting like such crazy body dysmorphia that you see these people go completely overboard with what the beauty standards are. And it's now starting to filter into men as well. Like, it's always been there in some case of what a man should be, right? Fit, all these other things. But now we're having people getting jaw surgery. We're having them cut their fucking legs off and attach steel bars in there to make them a little bit fucking taller. Want a really meta thought? Mental illness is bred by watching to get clicks on your YouTube videos. True. But there's nothing objective about the way humans are. We're so complex and different in so many different ways that it all changes, right? It all becomes different. What everyone's taste is different. What everyone wants from their significant other, from their partner, is different. This is just trying to simplify it as like, oh, these are what are hot women. And it also sets a standard for any male growing up in this world. It sets a standard like, this is the only thing you should have, right? It's the black pill thing of this is the only thing you should have. This is the only thing that is considered a beautiful woman. So you should do everything you can to try and get super rich, which is usually going to end with you being super fucking poor your entire fucking life. So you can be jealous of these people with big cars that are getting these supermodels who aren't really all that supermodel. They get fucking their stomachs pumped, and they fucking get nose surgery and fucking jaw surgery and all this other stuff that happens in there, just to keep up the beauty standards, especially as they start to get older.
Delusional people about how they view themselves, about how they view their arts, their work. If you don't see reality for what it is, if you think that these two images are just as beautiful or just as amazing, that's delusional and insane. That's mentally ill. And I try to make that abundantly clear in the video.
Let's use those pictures as an example, right? Let's use those pictures as an example. Is this the same person? Someone got their face busted up? All right. Say someone's been married to this woman forever, right? She's or even someone knew her from her past. Obviously, something happened to her, whether it was she was a disease she's lived with her whole life, or whether it happened to her afterwards. There are people who love her. There are people who get to know her. There are people who will find beauty through any means, her personality. There may be someone else that has a similar condition that finds beauty in her because they struggle with that loss together. This on the right is just what they like to consider standard beauty practices. She's got makeup on. She's got, all over her face. She's doing a particular angle on the camera. She's, in the perfect condition for what she wants to be. And in both cases, people have to suffer from this beauty standards because she has to stay as young as possible in that thing for any of these manosphere guys to stay with her. Because, once she gets old and her body starts to change and wither, they don't want that. They're going to get rid of her for the next supermodel. Hopefully the one that they're wanting is of age. And then the one on the right has to suffer with this idea that since she's no longer beautiful, she can never find love anymore. She can never find anyone. She should be ostracized from the world for what she is. They're both fucking terrible situations to be in. They both cause suffering if you use the objective beauty standard that you seem to have.
Delusional and insane. That's mentally ill. And
I'm not saying you have to find the one on the left beautiful. What I'm saying is someone might.
Try to make that abundantly clear in the video. I think I did a pretty good job at it. All of this
I would like to believe that, but you haven't said shit or shown any fucking clips from your video. It's just you yapping about looks. and that he took your video out of context. So probably one of the shittiest. Why did Twitch did drop? Oh well, I'll have to worry about that later. Like you haven't shown a single thing, and apparently I can't go watch the video because I don't see the fucking video anywhere that would allow me to go look at it to see what you said and compare it to what Anthony said, right? This is just take my word, bro.
Points to a problem though, Anthony. You literally built your career on YouTube off the idea that you're qualified to teach people on what good media criticism looks like, and also how to spot grifters, how to spot bad faith actors. Yet you intentionally make such egregious elementary mistakes to misrepresent me. This means you are not.
Your entire channel is talking about the left. Radical leftist demands Asmongold be banned. That could be a story one. Toxic femininity, how the left empathy is destroying the West. Why Reddit leftists are obsessed with making everything gay. The leaflet shit, I guess he got fucking burned by leaflet. The smug atheist lied about me to his audience. How to spot grifters, the official guide. Your whole thing is generalizing the fucking left. But you're saying that he's generalizing his side, right? Let me double check.
And denial of that, in my opinion, breeds this mental illness I refer to in the video. I would bet that this mentality we have, it breeds mental illness. It breeds see reality for that's delusional and insane. All of this points to a problem though, Anthony. You literally built your career on YouTube off the idea that you're qualified to teach people on what good media criticism looks like, and also how to spot grifters, how to spot bad faith actors. Yet you intentionally make such egregious elementary mistakes to misrepresent me. This means
using the word elementary from this guy is just so fucking... This guy just likes to use big words to make himself sound smart and then spend an hour on one fucking point without showing any of the evidence like he said they should have showed, like Anthony should have showed.
You are not qualified to talk about these things.
And I'm going to reiterate this as we're going through. Not that Remnant's ever going to watch this fucking video. I don't like Anthony. I've seen like a lot of these videos as being shit. The objectively critical one, I don't remember what he said in it, but I agree with him with that. The objective critic, I don't think is real, right? Because if you're objectively right about it being a bad film, but everyone likes it, is it really objective? Or even someone if one person likes it, then how is it objectively bad? Just because more people disliked it? To that person, it's subjectively better. It's just it's a dumb criticism.
After this point in everything that you've done on YouTube, you shouldn't be giving any media criticism at all. Just stop. This is not your niche. You have done a disgusting job here. But wait a minute.
So far, I've listened to your stuff. 2 videos now. These 2 videos, and I don't think you're made for this either.
Let's look at some real criticism he has for me in the video.
Remnant doesn't show the names of the artists on screen, so we can't exactly go and check how old they were when they made the art.
Just did that pride picture is by... Thank you. That pride picture is by Mincha Draws. They don't list any mental illnesses. It was a person sharing who did that. But this person lists their age, and they are 20 years old.
I love this guy.
The post was made last year, so they were either 19 or 20 when they did it. Is that too young? If you reverse image search it, you can find the artists. You absolutely can go check. It's just not true that you can't check.
Yeah,
so hold
that
on.
was a clip
Was this Anthony calling someone the pedophile thing? So again, instead of attacking his points and showing video evidence, he's attacking statements he's made in the past that don't have anything to do with the video. He actually mentioned this in his video earlier, if you remember, about how Anthony bringing up the idea of him using AI art. But here he is doing the same thing from a Harmful Opinions clip.
Reacting to Anthony's video. He was able to confirm it wasn't a child's drawing in about 2 minutes, while he was live streaming, mind you.
I like the alternative thesis. Leftist art is all made by children. Leftist art is made by babies.
He even went a step further to say we can't even confirm if these drawings are made by the left.
It's also hard to say if the art in question that he showed is right-wing or not either, because we do not know who the artist is. For all we know, it could be art made to make fun of a left-wing person.
And what's even funnier is while he's saying that, he has a picture of Alec Gunter's banner, who, mind you, is a confirmed leftist who calls himself a communist and a socialist interchangeably. Whoever made this banner, we can't know for sure if they're left-wing or right-wing. For all we know, this person could be making fun of the left.
Are you with us? No.
Which, to be fair, is a very
funny
interesting argument. For all we know, Alec Gunter could be a psyop by the government to create some more left-wing locales. But on a serious note, he acts as if this isn't something I already addressed in the video. He brings this up repeatedly.
Are you gonna bring this clip
up? We
up?
don't know if
Please.
these people are left-wing. We don't know how old these people are. And he waits all the way till this point of the video to even show that I did address it or what my response to that was. He acts as if this is an argument that I never addressed throughout my entire video. This is just some glaring hole.
Are you going to show where you address this?
I left unaddressed, even though he knew it wasn't. I even gave a verifiable example of this. He just purposely waits until he's like 30 minutes into the video to show what I said, when most of his audience has already dropped off. They won't even hear this. It's like many...
Okay, this is a fucking dumb statement. You're just pretending he did it specifically there so that the video, there's not as many people watching it. Like, come on, man. Show us the clip.
Manipulative journalists who rely on you skimming the headlines of an article and just accepting the implied premise without reading it. Anthony operates in a similar fashion. Even when I gave verifiable evidence that it's not a kid who drew this, I gave an example being Alec Gunter's banner, which addresses his concerns about age. And what does he say? Did he acknowledge that I addressed this at all? No, instead, he goes on this like really weird, edgy anime rant, as if he was a shitty voice dub over an anime. I mean, look at this timestamp. Remnant777 names one artist he referenced and looks like a fool. What?
Oh, buddy. Oh, you fucked up in a way you don't really know. So I actually know Alec Gunter, actually. We've talked a few times. Alex started as a right-wing content creator who shifted left over time. So if he spent more of his life right-wing, but then shifted left-wing, what do you think that means? He can't.
That means, Anthony, that you're retarded. That's the worst fucking... He used to be left, so that means, or he used to be right, so that means his art isn't left-wing. Well, that's fucking dumb.
Came from the same place your artists came from. It's funny how that works out, isn't it? Also, just because it's his banner doesn't mean he drew it, or for that matter, is an artist at all. You compared professional art to amateur art and thought we wouldn't notice? In fact, amateur art by someone who was raised in a right-wing situation, was right-wing for a very long time, and thus should have developed the same skills you argue is inherent in...
I legitimately think of myself as a retard. Like, I'm not a smart guy by any means, but listening to Anthony and Remnant try and go back and forth with each other generally makes me feel like I have a genius IQ and that this just maybe I am smarter than I think I am.
Right-wing art. But guess what? None of that even matters because Alec didn't do the thumbnail. I know this because I fucking asked him.
It's the only way to see if it's real. Or fake!
He's hidden a piece of the notebook!
That clip is identical to that anime kid from Omegle.
And there we go. The obvious answer that I have known. You've proven me right. Look at you. Thinking you have all the power in the world, thinking you could trick me. I've fallen for your illusion. How disappointing. So, you're gonna longingly gaze at me.
Bruh, are they not the same person? Either way, we can see why the video is so long despite lacking any real substance.
Yeah, I think
mean,
anyone's that way,
according to
Mike.
himself at the end, his entire weird weeaboo rant didn't even matter. This entire video of his is literally him fighting a fake argument with himself in a shower, and he turned that into a video essay. Anyway,
It's funny that he says this. This is just two people fake fighting each other in a shower. It's a good analogy because I'm watching it happen, like two retards slapboxing in an alleyway. There's a bunch of people, and I'm one of them, around like throwing change down on which one's going to fall first.
Anyways, I'm not going to waste your time like he did. The gist of what he says is that it was made by Alec Gunter's mod, and therefore I'm debunked. What's also interesting is that I literally addressed this right before he went on that whole weird edgy...
Is he going to show it? Is he going to show it, or is he just going to say it happened? Let's see.
The anime rant. I literally said, he's a Marxist and by no means is a child. Unless he has children make his banners.
Thank you. The first time he shows a fucking clip.
He's very bad at art, but he's certainly not a child. Which is me acknowledging that it could have been made by somebody else who wasn't Alec Gunter. Maybe one of his mods. But again,
All right, let's listen to that again. Marxist.
Not a child. Which is me acknowledging... Or I'm debunked. What's also interesting is that I literally addressed this right before he went on that whole weird edgy anime rant. I literally said, he's a Marxist and by no means is a child. Unless he has children make his banners. He's very bad at art, but he's certainly not a child. Which...
Okay, what?
Just me acknowledging that it could have been made by somebody else who wasn't Alec Gunter. Maybe...
Was that? Am I dumb?
Right before he went on that whole weird edgy anime rant, I literally said, he's a Marxist and by no means is a child. Unless he has children make his banners. He's very bad at art, but he's certainly not a child.
That didn't say any of that.
Which is me acknowledging that it could have been made by somebody else who wasn't Alec Gunter. Maybe one of his mods. But again,
But you didn't say any of that. You're just telling us to insinuate that. Good example is great at trivia shows like Jeopardy, who wants to be a millionaire, and Cash Cab, but hopeless in shows like Wheel of Fortune. Fair.
Anthony never pays attention when it matters most. Because if he did, he would know that Alec Gunter's mods aren't minors. Which...
I feel like I have to do so much research to see what the full statement is of that particular clip to get the idea of what he's trying to say. Because I feel like that was clipped specifically. I don't have any proof of it. I'd have to go back and look through his video. Oh, wait. I can't seem to find it.
Confirms the whole point of what I was getting to. An adult made this banner for somebody he knows is a radical communist. This was his profile picture not long ago. Alec Gunter in this drawing has a trans pride flag. This was when he was very left-wing. Use your head. Do you think that this banner was made when he was a conservative, or the person who made it as a conservative?
Now this is true.
There's no doubt to what political affiliation and what age group this person is. And here's the thing with Anthony. People like him constantly ask for citations for things he knows is true. He's simply trying to waste your time. This is a leftist tactic. Constantly ask for citations and sources that are
This is such a, I can't believe this ever became a thing where the right people were like, show me a source, or like the right people stopped believing in showing evidence, right? Like, if you're going to make a statement like, I don't know, God, I can't even think of fucking any dumb statements. If you're going to make a statement, we'll just be vague. If you're going to make a statement about something that should be like a fact, yes, you should see a source. If it's something subjective, then yeah, they're telling you for a source. Well, that's fucking stupid. I have things like disappearing. What is going on here? Then yeah, you can't give a source for that, and that would be a reason to make fun of somebody for telling you to find a source. But the fact that it became a thing where like people can just use this as a defense, like the left wants us to do a source. No, if you're going to say something that's fact, show why it's a fact. You know, like showing clips of your video that show the opposite of that showed that Anthony was being a fucking scumbag, right?
Evident and true. For example, the banner. How do we know the person who made this was left-wing? Well, if you're genuinely this retarded, Anthony, and you need more evidence for something that's so obviously true, you could have just used the Wayback Machine, and you could have seen that before he had this banner, he was still a leftist variety content creator. Meaning, when he got this banner and it was made for him, it was made specifically in mind for a person that they knew was a leftist, and they were a big fan of this leftist content creator. Yet you never address any of that. You conveniently ignore it, because that wouldn't be good for your arguments. So to summarize, you wasted our whole time with that edgy, weird, shower debate monologue that didn't even rebuttal what I was initially addressing. Yet instead of acknowledging how any of this addresses your previous point about age, you shifted the goalpost. You swapped the goalpost from, we don't know what their age is, and that's a problem, to, we don't know if these are art students. And to say these things about art students makes me a big meanie bully, plus something about bad media criticism. Yet ironically, mere minutes later, he goes out of his way to critique one of the most infamous art students of all time.
Here's a picture of a building's side, right? You see that stair leading up, door, all that? Everything is misaligned. The entire house makes no sense. Who is this stupid artist who drew this? Oh, that's my point. Right.
He was a student, Anthony. He was a student. I can't believe he did the Hitler so fucking.
Yeah, this is just bringing up fucking Hitler to bring up Hitler's art, right? Yeah, dumb point again.
Dirty. We never know how good Hitler could have gotten at art. All right, he was disadvantaged by the system.
What's funny is right after he says, what if they're art students? He instantly turns around to nitpick and criticize one of the most infamous art students of all time. He has no consistency. He has no standards he lives by. Everything that leads him is simply his political bias and emotion. He will say anything.
From a guy whose entire channel is about his political bias. Right? You're not you're calling the kettle fucking black, right? You're a pot calling the kettle fucking black. This isn't the argument you need to say. Yeah, his argument is dog shit, talking about, oh, it could have been an artist. Like, you shouldn't make fun of them because they may not know how to do art. No, that's fucking not an idea. And like, just like everything's subjective. If I think it's a piece of shit art, I'm gonna call it a piece of shit art. And if I can make fun of it, I'll make fun of it.
Anything to try get a dunk in. If
none of these idiots were around when communism was a thing. Agreed. Communism and Marxism is the new Nazi. It means fucking nothing.
He disagrees with you, even if it means contradicting himself mere minutes later. Anthony really embodies the essence of the edgy, smug Redditor who's incredibly pretentious while being wrong at the same time. And he does all of this while LARPing about good faith behavior, good faith criticism. Yet he turns around and does this. I mean, one time I was in a chat room, somebody posted their picture, their art, and I pointed out the things that I liked, and then I pointed out the things that they could have done better on. And then everybody attacked me, by the way, they were left-wing, and said that I was wrong for pointing out what they could have done better, which is delusional. You might as well just tell everybody, hey, only compliment me. Imagine how...
Okay, so you're talking about in a private Discord, right? Or a little semi-public session, right? She's not coming to you to necessarily critique her on what she could have done better. She's showing people her art piece, and they got mad that you criticized her. Sure, okay. It's delusional, like most polite society, all right, when you're doing things. This is an internet thing, by the way, right? If someone brings me a piece of art and I see it and, you know, it looks pretty good, I'm going to say what I like about it. Most people are not necessarily going to break down the art piece like there's some kind of art fucking enthusiast. Well, you know, the shadowing here on this side of the blah, 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 blah. It's just a normal polite society thing. I'm glad you had to say that she happened to be leftist, though. Right? Bias. It doesn't matter what their political takes is. They just thought you should be normal, polite society because she probably wasn't really asking for your opinion.
How delusional you would sound if you said that in any other context.
You mean like an art school where you're, you know, you have to You're paying to go learn art and be critiqued to improve your art, right? Not someone just showing off their art to somebody else, you know, in a completely friendly environment, right? It's called social norms.
See, even assuming this,
and that's not a leftist social norm. That was a social norm long before this woke stuff
actually happened and isn't made.
You generally sound like a pretentious asshole when you critique someone's art and you're not like an art teacher in an art class.
Up.
Not only does he not believe the drawings are left-wing, but he calls into question my own personal stories and interactions with individuals. My story doesn't have the stamp of approval from Snoops. Anthony, you're full of shit. I could literally turn this right back around at you. After all, Anthony, how the hell do I know you even wrote your own script for this video? How do I know you didn't just pay some poor Pakistani $2.50 to write everything in this video, and now you're just reading off a script that he wrote for you? I need evidence, Anthony. Give me the evidence. Show me a recording of yourself under candlelight writing the entire script for this video. If you don't have that, I just can't believe that any of the videos you've posted on your channel were made by you. I'm just not convinced by the lack of evidence you provide. Like, what are we doing, Anthony? Anthony really embodies the essence of the edgy, smug Redditor who's incredibly pretentious while being raw at the same time. And he does all of this while LARPing about good faith
at least
behavior,
the pretentious part
good
I can
faith
agree
criticism. Yet he turns around and does this. I mean, one time I was in a chat room, somebody posted their picture, their art, and I pointed out the things that I liked, and then I pointed out the things that they could have done better on. And then everybody attacked me, by the way, they were left-wing, and said that I was wrong for pointing out what they could have done better, which is delusional. You might as well just tell everybody, hey, only compliment me. Imagine how delusional you would sound if you said that in any other context.
You see, even assuming this actually happened and isn't made up.
Not only does he not believe the drawings are left-wing, but he calls into question my own personal stories and interactions with individuals. My story doesn't have the stamp of approval from Snoops. Anthony, you're full of shit. I could literally turn this right back around at you. After all, Anthony, how the hell do I know you even wrote your own script for this video? How do I know you didn't just pay some poor Pakistani $2.50 to write everything in this?
Yeah, it's gay to say, did this even happen, right? I could see where you might think that, like him saying, well, you know, the leftists all attacked me because I said this, when clearly it's just a situation where like Remnant is too autistic to read the room and realize he's not a fucking art major teaching this kid how to do art. So people generally in a friendly session amongst peers don't really want, they're not giving you the art to critique and improve them. They go to fucking art classes or look up videos or things like that. They're generally looking for some kind of approval. Like you could just say what people did good on their items, right?
Video, and now you're just reading off a script that he wrote for you. I need evidence, Anthony. Give me the evidence. Show me a recording of yourself under candlelight writing the entire script for this video. If you don't have that, I just can't believe that any of the videos you've posted on your channel were made by you. I'm just not convinced.
The thing is like from the clips I've seen from Anthony doesn't fucking even bring up this point. He just does the I'm not even sure this is real. But then again, it could be clipped. I have to go watch Anthony's video now to see if it's in, and this is I'm like being facetious. I'm probably not gonna fucking go watch all of this stuff to try and figure out what the fucking truth is, right? Because this video of itself, regardless of what the clips are and what everything else is bad.
By the lack of evidence you provide. Like, what are we doing, Anthony? Seriously, what the f*** are you doing? So what I mean by when there's a mentally ill look is to say that these people are so delusional that they can't tell reality from their drawings.
How do you know that? How do you know that? I'm just asking you, because you seem to be saying a lot about intentionality here, but you haven't actually showed what the artists are saying.
Is intentionality an actual word? That sounds like he made that up.
Maybe the artist wanted Sasuke to look retarded. To be fair, it's possible. However, even if this particular artist was making a derp Sasuke on purpose, I can show you 100 million examples of someone failing. So it doesn't matter.
But since we're on this topic, I'll explain why I didn't cite who made the drawings. Not that it would even matter to Anthony, because again, he contradicts himself even with this point. He puts me in the position to say I'm damned if I do cite people, and I'm damned if I don't. For example, me simply responding to comments in a video is enough evidence for him to claim I'm putting people on blast to be named and shamed according to him.
Buddy, let me explain something to you. You named and shamed your critics, but you refused to name the artists you're criticizing. Do you see the problem here? You're willing.
So, well, this is just done for a whole bunch of different reasons, like, right? Yeah, let's name drop the artists in a 100,000 fucking sub channel to, you know, for what reason? Like, what reason is there to put their names in it if you're critiquing the art? That's just fucking retarded. Random names in the comment section, I don't think those are a fucking big deal. No one gives a shit, right? No one goes hunting down the fucking person that made a comment. There's a different amount of anonymity there, right, than giving up an artist name who probably has their name online because Twitter artists are everywhere and they're trying to, you know, make a name for themselves. It just seems weird.
Willing to put your critics on blast on your massively large channel, those who have no platform, and yet you're afraid to name the artists so that no one in your video can just look up the artist to see if they've improved or how old they are. You're effectively targeting your critics with your channel's platform, yet you're refusing to allow the artists to speak for themselves by demonstrating improvement. There's something ironic about a guy saying that the left can't take criticism, and then his immediate next video is a response to the criticism from this video calling his critics mentally ill.
I'm sorry, but that really gives the impression that the people I'm responding to in my video, he's claiming I'm calling them mentally ill. He's saying that I was attacking them, and I was angry with them. Whereas if you watch the video, you'll know that I was nothing but polite and kind to these people 95% of the video. Even in the clip that he
see, and this is
showed from the video, I was nothing but kind and polite to the person. But that was one point I was making in the video. But this person is very kind and courteous. You can read the whole comment here. Very kind person. He says I'm naming and shaming and putting these people on blast, not because it happened, but simply to keep his audience engaged.
What they want is that dopamine hit.
You don't critique a drawing a child makes for you. My best friend's daughter has made drawings for me. Yeah, that's the kind of the thing it is. Like, this person isn't necessarily a professional artist, right?
30
you
seconds.
don't, like, if you're going to critique, like, if someone comes to you specifically and like, hey, I'm looking for critiques on this, then yeah, by all means, like, give them the critiques that they're asking for, right? I paint Warhammer figures and I'm fairly decent at it. Like, I'm not going to win a fucking golden demon or a crystal fucking brush or anything like that, but people have asked me for advice on things that they do. When they just ask me how something looks, I tell them the things that they did good on it, right? I'm saying, hey, that's a good looking piece. I like how you did this. I like how you did that. I'm encouraging them to continue to paint and do the hobby, right? And if they come to me and say later, like, hey, I've done this and this, this is the one that I've drawn, what could I do better? Then yes, they're asking for my criticism, right? No one wants the fucking criticism shoved in their face just because they asked for the art. It's fucking retarded.
In to continue watching. They'll either misrepresent scenes, omit key details to make their point land better, or in some cases, lie.
He misrepresented my entire video, omitted the fact that I was kind with practically everybody in the video except for maybe one person, and he even lied and said I was calling my critics mentally ill, which is not the case whatsoever, because guess what, Anthony? You can disagree with me on art, and I still wouldn't call you mentally ill. And the reason why he did this is because when you're making a whole video about a nothing burger, you have to make things up to constantly keep people's attention. That's what he does.
You mean like this fucking video?
And let's hone in on what he did here. You effectively proved that you believe me simply responding to comments is shaming them and putting them on blast. Now, with that in mind, let's go back to the original video where I said their art looks mentally ill. I cited the people who drew.
Yeah, why left-wing art looks mentally looks so mentally ill. So he's general. This is finally you seeing this. I might have missed it earlier. This goes back to his whole idea of he's focusing on the word looks. He put looks in there specifically so if someone said is, he could come back at him. It's clearly what he did there to feel like a smart guy. So, I didn't say they were mentally ill. I just said it looks mentally ill. But then he also says that I wasn't talking about all left-wing art. But if we go by your own standards, your title is very much why left-wing art. Where's the some, buddy? Only some left-wing art looks mentally ill, right? It's a shit word game, and it doesn't fucking work.
Through them. I linked their names. Anthony would have rewrote the entire video and claimed I indirectly organized a whole harassment campaign against these people online, and that I'm responsible for everything that followed afterwards, which is precisely why I didn't put them in the video. If me simply being polite and kind to people is enough for you to claim I'm shaming and putting these people on blast, then what does that say about my primary video where I claim their drawings look...
This is true. This is a true statement. If he would have, if he would have put on there that the names of the artists, Anthony would have went through and said, why are you blasting these artists to send them harassment? It's a double standard.
Look mentally ill. And as for the thumbnail, yeah, a lot of people did get angry at me at the time, but there were plenty of people who also had sincere objections to the things I said. So I tried to engage with them and they liked it. I personally find it pointless to write out the same response to like 10 different people who are making the same objections. You literally showed me giving examples of people saying identical things. Because again, I'm not attacking people, I'm simply responding to people, and I was extremely kind. This is why you couldn't show any examples of me attacking people. At most, I made one joke calling a person gay because they claimed that the great artists of the past were gay. That was it. Also, remember how he said there's no way to verify who made
I don't really
these drawings?
give a shit about that.
Yeah, he even contradicts himself here too. Because if you paid close attention, many instances throughout the entire video, he claims he did look for the images. He did use reverse image search to fact check the things I said.
I'm very curious why Remnant thinks that this Templar art is right-wing. It's been around for at least 10 years as a meme. Not gonna lie, I actually tried looking to see if he stole and took credit for the Omni-Man art. I can't find any results in reverse image search, so he probably did just sketch it in a book and photograph it.
Why do I bring this up? Well, it clearly shows that Anthony has the ability to fact check the drawings and see where they came from, just like Harmful Opinions did in about 2 minutes during a live stream. So that really begs the question, why didn't he check the
This guy loves sucking Harmful Opinions dick.
examples I gave for left-wing art in the video? Here's what I think. I think it's reasonable to assume, based off of what we've seen from you, you have reverse image searched them multiple times. And what you found was no evidence to suggest that they were kids. That's what you probably found. Because if you did mention that you looked into the examples I gave, it would reinforce what I said a whole year ago.
I mean, it just like we're back, we're doubling back on the same thing with the kids argument. It doesn't matter if it was kids or not. You can critique the art for what it is and where people use it. It doesn't mean it's mentally ill. It doesn't mean it's left wing. It doesn't mean it's fucking right wing, right? It's just, you could focus on that just being a bad argument that it could be kids. Well, it's shit.
I feel like that would be bullying. If you only got art explicitly from children, that would just be bullying in my opinion. And that's not the point of this video. I don't doubt that some of these images are made by children. And if so, that's by mistake. But if I saw any indication of age on Twitter of them being a minor, I wouldn't use their art because, again, that would be very disingenuous and that's not the goal. Because here's the thing. We know you would be the first to jump on that opportunity to call me a liar and accuse me of messing up severely. Yet you couldn't give a single example of this, despite all of this clearly being within your ability to confirm or deny. I wouldn't be shocked if Anthony looked through a couple of them, saw that they were adults or there was no evidence that they were children, and then ignored it.
And now we're just doing the same insinuation that you did, that you say he does to you, right? We're just saying things. Like, if you're going to complain about his tactics, don't use the same tactics.
Support his thesis. Just got to admit that because it really doesn't support any of the lies he puts out there. So from what I can see, none of this is implausible. This is very likely what happened. Editor's note, I went back to actually check the age of the people who made the drawings, and most of them give an age over 20 years old, while a few of them don't have their age listed. A couple of them, funny enough, that Anthony said looks like they were made by children, or maybe a novice art student who just started drawing, was actually made by a 40-year-old man who's made thousands of drawings that look exactly the same, and his DeviantArt account is over 15 years old. I also just looked into this person's
What does that have to do with anything? He's just a shit artist then.
political leanings, and it turns out they're a left-wing Democrat. They hate Trump and they like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Anyways, back to the video. Friendly reminder, Anthony, everything...
Again, what does that have to do with anything, right? Their political leaning. Oh, see, I was right. This one person is exactly, left-wing that I was talking about, and their art is mentally ill. Well, they draw the same art that they've always drawn because they've never improved. Or it's fucking, the style they like to draw in.
Thing that I'm doing in this video is simply holding you up to your own standards that you've held other people to. Next time.
But you're doing the same thing he does, so you're going down to his supposed standards and doing the same stuff that he's doing.
Don't be so quick to call everybody you disagree with a liar or insinuate that they're making things up unless you're squeaky clean yourself, which you...
This is why I don't call people liars, right? Unless you're squeaky clean yourself or all that other shit. I don't call people liars because I generally don't think they are liars. Generally, they're just fucking stupid.
Clearly aren't. To me, all of this is completely fair to say about you. This is simply Anthony from a year ago scrutinizing the present Anthony. And I keep saying this each and every time, but it only gets worse from here for Anthony. Because right after insinuating I'm lying and making things up due to the lack of proper citation, a former friend of his known as...
Yeah, it's 15 years old, right? So he was a bad artist before Trump took office. Yeah, pretty much.
Otterly Noah got exposed for plagiarizing people and falsely copyright striking his critics because he was petty and couldn't take being criticized. And what's funny about all of this is Anthony was actively defending him all the way till the end until Otterly Noah admitted.
What is this fucking PFP from? I don't think I've ever seen this one. So you see what he's done here. Like the video that Anthony made is clearly talking about the left-wing art mentally ill and how he's a grifter for it. But it doesn't seem like Remnant's actually going after his... Man, hold on. His takes. He's just talking about the verbiage or the things that are grifter-like that he has said, that Anthony has said in the past. He doesn't show any actual evidence of where Anthony is wrong for what he was saying, right? He brings up this one art thing. Maybe that's evidence. Maybe you could say that that's evidence that this one artist was that way. And now we're getting into the fucking Noah drama. It's just finding ways to try and dogpile Anthony and discredit Anthony versus going after Anthony in the videos.
Admitted to everything. When it became undeniable to everybody else, Anthony jumped ship. The reason why I bring this up is because there was an abundant amount of evidence directly shown to Anthony that Otterly Noah was lying and pointed to the idea that he was plagiarizing people. Yet in spite of all of that
okay, hold on. Where was this in the timeline? Like, where was it shown to Anthony? Like, I don't want to defend Anthony. The things Anthony said to Noah about the plagiarism drama, I fucking despise. But where did he immediately get shown, like, all of this evidence? It was all happening in real time. Once Noah jumped on the fucking stream, I'm pretty sure that's around the same time that Anthony was like, nope, I'm done. It's a big time for everyone to find out that all that shit was lies and for him to do it.
Evidence, Anthony still defended him. Why is that relevant? He will insinuate people are liars and misrepresent.
And here's the thing, he's not showing any of this. We're not showing evidence like in timestamps of where Anthony just held out to the end, right? I don't think anyone was saying that Anthony held out to the end. But he's insinuating that that's what's happened here without giving any context, no screenshots, no evidence. Maybe I'm pause Andying him.
Representing things with literally no evidence to demonstrate his claims are true. And what about Cianimus? All it takes for Anthony to call you...
He just said something with no evidence of what happened. And there's facts. You can go back and look at those facts.
You a liar is him misremembering
Using their own tactics against them, yeah.
Remembering things, and then claim
there's no bad tactics, there's only bad targets.
That you lied about him, and then refuse to show evidence for it. That's enough to call a person a liar and claim that they're misrepresenting you. Whereas for Otterly Noah, you can have an abundance amount of evidence right in front of your face, and he will still ignore it and defend his peers. It is obvious that.
But that's not what happened, right? I was right there. Everyone that was there can see it. It was open to everybody. I don't think that's what he did. Now, Anthony, if Anthony had an out that he could have defended Noah, I think he would have. I think he's very much I'll protect people on his side, especially with him talking about how he should, not focus on the actual plagiarism, but talk about the citation stuff, right? That was the slimy part of the situation that I think you should dig into if you want to make Anthony look bad. But no, you're saying that there was a pile of evidence that Noah was bad and he just ignored it.
Anthony is morally bankrupt. And how did Anthony respond to this astronomical up? Well, he obviously owned up to his mistakes like a real man and called himself a clown over a dozen times on stream. What a humble individual to admit when he's wrong. Here's the thing though, Anthony. I don't believe you're that stupid. Correction, we don't believe you're that stupid.
As of 3 hours prior to Otterly Noah's career getting irreparably damaged when he confessed to the strike allegations, I had sent this video right here to Anthony Gramuglia and sent him an example where he ripped this video verbatim. He downloaded Shamu's video, removed Shamu's audio, and replaced it with his own.
Law shelf. It specifically states that, quote, for a statement to be considered defamation.
To be considered defamation, it must be about the plaintiff. Even if the statement does not mention him or her by name, it can be actionable on grounds of defamation.
You follow? Right, so he had an example. There's no citation issue here. This is an example of ripping, shipping, and profiting. So I sent this to Anthony Gramuglia. His response to this was slow down making videos. That was the most important thing he needed to hear. In his rush to produce material, he took shortcuts, and he thought that was a desperation issue.
So this is going on with the plagiarism stuff. He's saying that the whole plagiarism thing, Anthony overlooked. Yeah, a lot of us overlooked it in one way or the other, right? So that's what he's saying is he knew Otterly Noah was a fucking terrible person to begin with and decided to go against it. No, I don't. Maybe with Anthony, maybe when the stuff came out later of like how he should hide against it, you could say that. But I still I fucking went to bat for Noah after the fact, not of the plagiarism stuff. I admitted he plagiarized, right? It was a plagiarism issue. What is Anthony's words on it? I mean, he said, slow down making fucking videos because, obviously Noah's pumping out stuff where he's just repeating things. I don't know if that's proof that he just knew how bad a guy he was.
And then I said, dude, I sent you a video of him downplaying someone else's work, ripping the audio out, and replacing that with his own voiceover. This is not a you're going too fast meme. He made a conscious decision to steal rather than take his own screenshot, blur it out, add some drop shadow. He did this because he obviously didn't expect to get caught and thought he could get away with it. Now, a couple hours later, Anthony Gramuglia would write, given this newest turn of events, it would appear my trust was misplaced. Yeah, suck a dick, man. All right, you were given every opportunity. You were given time. You were given more time than most. And you could not get to the point before all of this shit went down.
By the way, this isn't just me saying it as a rightoid. Even left...
It could have been so he sent this one clip. I'm trying to defend Anthony and I fucking hate him in this situation. So maybe the one clip he didn't believe. I don't know. I don't know where to go through it for there, but it's not... Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe I'm wrong. But this just seems like he's trying to dig at him because Diorio said it.
Between individuals who fundamentally don't agree with me at all, like Dickers will admit this is true.
When Anthony says he didn't spot it because he didn't want to spot it, yeah, I feel like that's pretty true, right? I mean, I'm not seeing a lot in these DMs to paint the picture in my mind that Anthony Gramuglia was overly manipulated by Noah into this being a citation drama. Where's the stuff here to say, yeah, just don't download?
So what's funny too is this stuff didn't come out until much later. And this was after the plagiarism drama?
Upload somebody else's video.
Right after he's giving him advice.
In its entirety, and then clip out the portion that you want to nick. Yeah? Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't watch somebody else's video, copy the transcript, and then slightly reword their arguments while keeping their footage on screen. Maybe don't do that. Yeah, maybe.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Movie Blob came up with the no bad tactics, only bad targets phrase. Maybe, I don't know. But it seems to be the thing that people do now instead of, actually having morals to live up to.
We just do plagiarism detectors. Are you just trying to be, like, intentionally blind to what's going on there? I actually don't know. Now, that might be one to think on. After reading through some of this, I don't think that Ant is giving him advice on how to, like, take accountability after the drama. He's giving him advice on, like, optics, right?
Here's the problem.
Yes, that is true. He was absolutely helping him try and save face on optics, and that's where it was fucking incredibly slimy. So I'll give this one, this portion of it to him. Yes, Anthony was not thinking about accountability or any of those other items. He was thinking about how to make it look better and save face for Noah.
Anthony, you can't build a channel on the premise that you're qualified to talk about these things, that you're qualified to call out grifters and teach people how to give proper media critique,
and then proceed to be one of the last people to find out that Noah's a grifter.
And ironically, the way you teach people to give proper media critique is that you claim you have to interpret and understand what the piece of media was trying to achieve. You have to understand and judge what a person is trying to say. It's almost like you're trying to say bad media critique is when you misrepresent a person's position and debunk that instead of what they're trying to get at. Kind of like what you did to me this entire video in the first minute. And right after that, you let one of the most obvious cases of grifting slip right under your nose. And then you act shocked that any of this happened. You admitted everything was right in front of you and you should have known. You are clearly incompetent when it comes to these things, assuming you weren't morally bankrupt and just covering up for him and you knew that he was lying. Who knows though? We have two tough options before us. Are you an idiot or are you a liar? It's really hard to tell, but I wouldn't trust either of them. So that begs the question, why should anybody in your own audience listen to the criticisms you have? Well, believe it or not, guys, it gets worse from here. It actually gets worse from here. You thought that was the lowest point? No, it gets even worse. Even Anthony from a year ago would tell you not to listen to the things the present Anthony has to say. Because guess what? I did a little bit of digging and I found that he actively dismisses and disregards other people's opinions for far less than what happened with Otterly Noah. I'll show you what I mean. Harmful Opinions made a video reacting to Anthony, and it was hilarious. I found it really funny. And when this was brought to his attention, people said that Anthony should respond to Harmful Opinions. But instead, Anthony decided to blow him off and say that his opinion shouldn't be taken seriously. Why? Because he fumbled up coverage about Mudahar. Mind you, Harmful Opinions quickly corrected his mistakes, and he apologized for it.
Yeah, that's a typical fucking shit take that people do. Oh, they did this one thing wrong. I have no reason to go it. Or, you could even say in the take of Harmful Opinion, he's not, a very big channel in the realm of, like, YouTube terms, even though he gets around. So it's just a way to dismiss it, right? Just dismissing, I don't have to say anything. It doesn't matter if he's right. I've got more views than he has.
But according to Anthony, messing up one time about something that is pretty basic gives you the right to dismiss their opinions and say that they shouldn't be taken seriously. You hear that, Harmful Opinions? You messed up one time, and therefore your opinions don't count anymore. Oh wait, you know who else messed up horribly, Anthony? You know who else messed up a whole lot more than Harmful Opinions did that one time? You. Which means Anthony is an extreme hypocrite here. He is blatantly wrong. He's messed up a whole lot more than one time. How many times, though, do you think Anthony has messed up? How many times are we going to allow him to mess up before we say, nobody should fucking listen to you? You're a clown. I'm just calling you what you call yourself. You're a clown. Why should anybody listen to what you have to say about grifters, about proper media critique, about interpreting a piece of media the way it was intended to be understood? Especially when you mess up so egregiously with covering me, what I had to say, and it was right in front of your...
So I was I was kind of like vibing with this a little bit, right? Because it's true. Why should anyone listen to Anthony? Specifically after like the Noah drama, where it was just called out that he was, working for optics, right? He's working for optics. But then he's like, when you just got it so incredibly wrong with my video, and it's like, but you haven't shown anything in here that shows where he's wrong or where he's right. You've just said that's not what I said in my video. You brought up a few clips. But they're not telling the story you think they're telling.
Your face. You had no fucking excuse. This wasn't even improper media.
A lot of it is like the one guy. I went and looked up this guy to prove that he wasn't a kid, and he was a 50-year-old man who was a leftist who had been doing it for like 12 years. Okay, that's not like a fact that all of the artists that you're talking about are left-wing grifters, and that it looks like they're mentally ill, right?
Critique. You just lied about.
You can probably call a lot of the art that he shows like left wing in one way or another, but then to specifically say, oh, it's this specific type of left wing art, when you just said that, when you just like critiqued Anthony on using the word is versus looks, is kind of fucking it's kind of fucking shitty. It's kind of like doing the same tactic, and it seems like a couple of times you've done the same tactic. This is really just trying to smear Anthony for, instead of like critiquing Anthony's techniques on your video.
About me. All of the evidence is right there. You are a known liar, according to yourself. Nobody should take you seriously. Anthony is a hooligan. I mean, as Anthony would say, there is not a whole lot of meaningful discussion to be had with this clown. That's what Anthony would say. Again, this is just so astonishing. It's brilliant. Anthony, you are like dead on the money 50% of the time. The only problem is the criticisms are always directed at other people, the wrong people. You should instead go in front of a mirror and make a video essay exposing that guy you see, because you are not cut out for this. This is also a good time to go into why I removed the 2 videos in general that he talked about, and also where you can find them. You see, Anthony
he's going to talk about why he took him down.
Audio Noah's audience doesn't have a problem when individuals falsely copyright strike those that they disagree with or deem as racist. This was especially true when I was told.
Well, that's not true, because he lost a whole fucking portion of his audience over this drama, right? The moment people found out, people started leaving him in droves.
By Hambleton, that there was another YouTuber named Blackish who made a video critiquing Anthony, and that got struck down for harassment 3 days after it was posted, which led to his channel's deletion. Now, to be honest, I don't know much about Blackish, so I'm not going to go out of my way to defend the type of guy. I don't know what type of content he posted. But I do know that the video that was taken down for harassment, the timestamp that was given by YouTube was a green screen crashing into Anthony's forehead. So apparently that's enough to get your channel striked. Did Anthony do this? I don't know. I'm not actively claiming that he did. It could have been him or his.
You're insinuating that he did, though. And he might have. By all means, he might have. But you're bringing this up to insinuate that he's doing the same thing that Noah did. You're not bringing it up in a vacuum. You're bringing it up for a very specific reason, right?
Audience. We don't have evidence. Either way, though, this was.
We have evidence of what Noah did, right? Because it came out, right? Not everybody was willing to jump on the Dickers train when it was coming to the Noah stuff. In fact, there's quite a few of us that were defending him, and including the people who were on Callisto's side, Kinoflex, right? So once the evidence came out, then it changed, tunes of a lot of us. To be fair, the only reason he lost a certain portion of his audience was because Anthony disavowed him and the Birdman disavowed him too. Yeah, that is probably true. There's probably a big true. Welcome, British Runner, by the way. Welcome.
Was my thought process. If anything does happen to these types of videos, I'd rather 1 get struck down instead of possibly 3. I mean, if having a drawing and a thumbnail is enough to get you copyright struck, then yeah, I'm certainly going to be cautious around these people.
Well, it's technically not, right? That was kind of solved in a roundabout way, but there are ways to go about it from their side and fight it back. It would suck for, the problem is it's bullying for someone small like Callisto, because like me, like him, we have our name attached to our channels, so a copyright strike comes in. For us to fight against it and say it's not copyright strike, we have to, one, risk going to court with it for someone who may have the money to drag us through court, and 2, we have to give our full information to someone who could dox us, right? I'm about to fall asleep. Good night. Good night, Mike. Noah's former and current community have no principles on these things or look the other way. Yeah, I've started to see that. I got to watch the one that's the video of the Discord that's currently under membership, and I've seen some of the defenders who will literally jump through hoops to get with him. But is he still getting the views that he was getting before? Whoa. Let's see. Noah. Oh, Otterly Noah. He hasn't really made anything. I guess he's getting Otterly Noah. Oh, of course it's not going to come up with him anymore. Yeah, Toastify's next video on Noah is insane. It blew my mind. I'd love to watch it on stream, and I probably will if he takes it off membership like he did the first one. But I'm probably going to watch it beforehand. I am flabbergasted of things that I've been told about it. So that may be a video I watch tomorrow and go from there. Let's see here. It's members first, not members. Oh, members first. Gotcha. So, okay. See, I'm still learning the whole YouTube thing. Noah, Otterly, Noah. Where's your channel, Noah? No, where's your channel? Of course, the first thing that comes up. He's at 41,000. I mean, he still gets, yeah, I guess. Oh, it's members. Well, I mean, he's gotten a pretty big drop off. Let's see here from his original views. Oh, I guess he wasn't making that many views. I mean, there's a 100K one. So they haven't changed too much. He doesn't seem like he's getting any explosive ones anymore, though, at least not since the drama, but it's still early. The Mandalorian one from 3 weeks ago didn't do so hot. This one's members only, and then that one's 4.7. Where the good doctor failed in autistic representation. Where you failed us in autistic representation, Noah.
Which is why you can find the videos on Rumble. If you wish to revisit them and see what they're about, be sure to check it out on Rumble. Did you see that? Apparently.
What? So why did he take him down?
It's especially true when I was told by Hempleton that there was another YouTuber named Blackish who made a video critiquing Anthony, and that got struck down for harassment 3 days after it was posted, which led to his channel's deletion.
He used to get so many more views, but now he's lucky to break 10K. Yeah, which is funny because that's something that we would bring up about anti-woker channels where they've got, 100,000, 200,000, and they're still getting only like 10K, 15K. Even some of the larger guys are just doing terrible, and it's funny to see it happen to Noah because he was basically the same thing that some of the ones that are actually grifters. And again, I'll say British, I don't call a lot of people grifters, even in the anti-woke spaces, right?
Now, to be honest, I don't know much about Blackish, so I'm not going to go out of my way to defend the type of guy. I don't know what type of content he posted. But I do know that the video that was taken down for harassment, the timestamp that was given by YouTube, was a green screen crashing into Anthony's forehead. So apparently that's enough to get your channel striked. Did Anthony do this? I don't know. I'm not actively claiming that he did. It could have been him or his audience. We don't have evidence. Either way, though, this was my thought process. If anything does happen to these types of videos, I'd rather one get struck down instead of possibly three. I mean, if having a drawing in a thumbnail is enough to get...
If you listen to Noah's call with his community, he starts to sound like an anti-woke channel by using their terminology. That doesn't surprise me at all. I said the best thing he could do for himself now is just completely turn. Though it looks like he's just going to do like kind of the Fortress Arc thing and then filter over to Twitch and do his little streams over there.
To get you copyright struck, then yeah, I'm certainly going to be cautious around these people, which is why you can find the videos on Rumble. If you wish to revisit them and see what they're about, be sure to check it out on Rumble. Did you see that? Apparently to Anthony, that is me accusing him of getting Blackish's channel deleted. I know this for a fact because when he made a post claiming that I'm accusing him of getting Blackish's channel deleted, I sent him that clip, the part where I'm explaining why I removed the videos and where you can find them. It's me accusing him of getting Blackish's channel deleted. And what started all of this was me making a community post at the time explaining why I removed the videos. I said exactly what I did in that clip, practically word for word. So I messaged him on Twitter. I said, hey, you're posting false information about me. Here's what I was going to say. I posted the clip and it didn't matter to him, which is funny because apparently me saying we just don't know is making an accusation according to him. This is a very interesting thing of him to claim. What about that time when he said we don't know?
Okay. So he's saying he took videos down during that point in time because one channel got struck so that his channels wouldn't get struck. I don't that's a pretty weak argument for you trying to like defend your channel. It just seems like a reason to put it on a channel where no one else will go see it, right?
My own personal story was true. Was that an accusation?
You see, even assuming this actually happened and isn't made up,
I asked if he was implying I lied right there. It sure sounds like it, but according to him, he wasn't implying it.
Yeah, he is implying that you lied. I mean, it's a shit thing to do too, right? Just to say, well, this didn't. I don't know that this happened. You're putting it in your audience's head that's listening to you that Remnant's probably not telling the truth.
Anything when he said that. He was simply stating there wasn't evidence to confirm either way. You see what I've been having to deal with before I even released this video? The evidence in your video where you bring up Blackish getting banned.
Hold on, you just...
and draw a connection to me being involved, while just saying, well, I can't prove he did it, but isn't that odd? Which is not what I said anywhere. And you know he's got a really strong case against me when he has to literally make up what I said and emphasize on words that I never emphasized on. He claimed the difference between these two is that he disproved he had nothing to do with the channel being reported. And just so we're clear when I cover this, I said it before, multiple times, I'll say it again, I'm not saying he did anything. I literally don't think he did. However, showing those 2 emails in your report history definitively proves nothing. You can ask anybody. I mean, you just saying at the end of the day that you didn't do it is just as much proof as you provided in the screenshots. And
but you still like insinuated, right? You're still like just because there's this thing where like you are really focused on words like look and is, but then you make this same insinuation that you're complaining about him making against your channel, right? You're still, if you're coming in and saying that you don't trust it and you take the videos down, you're insinuating that you have some fear that Anthony's going to take down your videos. That's what you're signaling to you. That's what you're saying to your audience on some level, right? It's shit when he does it, and it's shit when you do it. It doesn't matter either way. You're making the insinuation that someone did something bad, and that it's going, you should avoid it for some reason. It's throwing shit. It doesn't. You could just not say any of those arguments, right? Now, you can, I guess, you can say it's speculation, right? It's weird that so-and-so's thing got taken down, but doing a whole video that you're pulling videos because, you just don't know is a bigger thing than saying like, oh, it's really weird that this particular part of the video where Anthony gets hit got taken down, right? I don't think most people were saying because the Noah video was about Noah that Noah was doing it, because we had seen at least the evidence that the artist did it. But it still sounds weird, and Dickers is the one that held on to that information like something's wrong here.
the problem is, at the end of the day, Anthony, there's literally nothing you can actually show to prove you didn't report him. You had no involvement in it. It would be an infallible accusation. You could never clear your name with this, which is why I didn't say you reported him. I'm not going to accuse you of something that serious when it's...
There are many reasons for this. One is Anthony Gramuglia was on very good terms with Otterly Noah, who intentionally copyright striked his criticism. That is extremely concerning for me, yet I do not hold that against him alone, since I am against guilt by association. But you just made a guilt by association argument. You brought up Anthony and Noah, and then are like, you're like, well, for one reason for this is... One is Anthony Gramuglia was on very good terms with Otterly Noah, who intentionally copyright striked his criticism. This is extremely concerning to me, yet I do not hold that against him alone, since I am against guilt by association. If you're against guilt by association, you would have not said the first paragraph to begin with, right? Just because he's with Noah doesn't mean that he copyright strikes videos. If what you did was a guilt by association, but saying I don't like guilt by association, like, this is a constant theme I'm seeing with you, Remnant, where you're saying things that you aren't associated with while doing those same things. The problem is I do not put that above Anthony's audience, nor think that they would be against that same mentality as Otterly Noah. They seem purely unhinged given the comments I have gotten, and I won't put it beneath them to do something. This is the, shitters are saying, making comments against me, fucking bullshit, and saying it's the other person's audience. It could be. It could be. It could also be some shitter who said something like, Shamu or Shamju wants to dox us, or wants us to dox you, right? It's just shitters making statements, but you're putting it on here as if it's definitive that since Anthony is friends with Noah, or was friends with Noah, because their audience has the same mentality, guilt by association, that you are taking these videos down. I think it's shit. I think it's weak. I think it's cowardly. And I think you're doing the exact same thing that you're complaining about Anthony doing.
It's infallible and there's no evidence, especially in a video to thousands of people. There is a post he is referencing, and I'll get to that in a minute though. But if he watches this video, I know for certain he's still going to deny everything I said. He's still going to try and convince people that somehow he can prove that he doesn't have any other emails. Trust me guys, it's 100% impossible to fake those screenshots by clearing your internet history and signing out your accounts. Nobody can ever do that. Faking screenshots, who's ever done that too? We totally don't have to just assume he isn't making everything.
And this is the, all screenshots are fake, so it must be a fake screenshot. The world of the internet and the world of fucking fake photos and AI has just ruined fucking discourse, because now everyone will say it's fucking fake.
Everything up here. We know for certain he's telling the truth here. This doesn't prove anything. And again, I'll even end with this. I'm not saying you did it, even though I know you're going to be flipping out about this. I'm just showing there's no way to prove it either way. This is why I've gone on record many times to say I'm not a...
The problem is that I do not put that above Anthony's audience. Yeah, we just saw that one. I cannot say Anthony striked him, but if terrible shit happens to the people around you, then I would prefer to not take the chances if it puts my channel at risk. So you're digging deeper into guilt by association. Deeper into it. Like, you obviously believe in a guilt by association, because that's what you're focusing on in these clips, or in these little messages that you're showing me, right? You're very much saying, well, I don't want to do it because Anthony was friends with Noah, and Noah took down somebody, so there's a possibility that Anthony took down this guy.
Accusing you of it. And what's funny is I think he knows this is true, because he's smart enough to point out that the recording I posted on X isn't definitive evidence. He said in response to me, you could have just re-recorded before filming, or B, still opens up the door to accusations, which regardless merits a counter-argument. That is perfectly...
Hold on, what was that? I gotta read what stupid shit Noah said. Or not Noah, Anthony.
By clearing your internet history and signing out your accounts. We know for certain he's telling the truth here. This doesn't prove anything. And again, I'll even end with this. I'm not saying you did it, even though I know you're going to be flipping out about this. I'm just showing there's no way to prove it either way. This is why I've gone on record many times to say I'm not accusing you of it. And what's funny is I think he knows this is true, because he's smart enough to point out that the recording I posted on X isn't definitive evidence. He said in response to me,
the evidence in your video where you bring up Blackish getting banned and draw a connection to me being involved, while just saying, well, I can't prove it, but he did it. I'm sure that's not what he said. But it isn't that odd, which A, you could have just recorded before filming, or B, still opens up the door for accusations, which regardless merits the counter argument. An accusation where you imply someone did something without offering proof is still an accusation by suggestion. Well, it's like inferring that something could have happened there. He's used, like Remnant's using inferring with guilt by association to build a case for it's there. It could have just not been said, or you could have said it's really weird that this portion of the clip was said. You can do something in there, but you're trying to add more to weight to it than you actually have. It's not adding evidence, but it's adding weight that it was him because of the pattern recognition connections with Utterly Noah and fucking Anthony, right? You could also say something like, it's really weird that it happened right after Noah just got caught for all of this. Why would someone like Anthony try to copyright strike someone after one of his friends just got caught doing the same thing? What intelligent person would do that, right? It's an inference of me defending what Anthony was saying because Noah just got fucking caught doing it. Why would he do it? No one knows anything either way.
You could have just re-recorded before filming, or B, still opens up the door to accusations, which regardless merits a counter-argument. That is perfectly spot on and reasonable, 100%. I agree with you, Anthony, which is why I tried to reach out to you privately in DMs and to screen share the recordings. I can show...
If you want evidence, I can literally screen record the audio file of me saying I am not claiming you did, and we have no evidence, was created May 15th and has not been modified. This still doesn't make up the fact that that's what you brought up and inferred, right?
Show you the audio recordings of that file was made on May 15th, and when I offered this to you, you just ignored it. Instead, he responded with, I will hold your final video accountable for whatever you say in it. You choose the rules of the game, do whatever you ultimately feel you must. But don't dish out anything you can't take. Perfectly reasonable, once again. But I responded with, I'd love those terms and would accept, but you are literally holding me accountable for things I never said in the video with this post you made, because
Remnant he's one of these guys that he word plays you. He's never wrong because I didn't say those things, right? I didn't say that black people are dumb. I just kind of affirmed that it's dumb. It's probably a bad example because I don't think he's racist or anything like that. I don't think most people are racist. But you can infer things in statements you make without saying those exact things. People don't need to say the exact thing out loud for their words to have meaning. If you're so good with words, right, that you're this wordsmith that's going at people for what you say, you would know that people can infer things.
He already made claims about my video in this post before he even published it. I even offered to not bring this up in the video if he retracted the post. I tried to be reasonable with him, and in response to this he said, "This is responding to posts you already made multiple times. I don't have to retract anything if you already made the accusations previously. There is no value in retracting anything, nor am I asking you to edit posts that you already made." Anthony...
True. I mean, once it's out there, it's already out there. Like, retracting the statements doesn't mean shit once you've already made a statement.
I never said in any of my posts that I would be making a video accusing you of getting a person deleted. He also made it clear in multiple of these comments that he was talking about the video. And for context real quick, what sparked all of this is that I made a community post identical to that 1-minute segment I put in this video for why the videos are down and where you can find them. And in response to this, he said, "This is the dumbest thing I've seen somebody do. Remnant is removing the vids I criticized in my video, responding to him out of fear of being DMCA struck, despite the fact that he owns the video and thus cannot be legally DMCA struck." Yeah, because that worked out so great for all the other people who falsely got strikes. He just completely ignored what I said. Yeah, obviously, you can't legally be struck, but it doesn't stop you from being struck. By who exactly? Well, probably not you, Anthony, because I fucking clarified I wasn't talking about...
This is just hiding behind DMCA on the opposite side, right? Well, my channel could get struck down. Yeah, if you're so concerned with your channel getting struck down so quickly, why make YouTube videos at all? Because shitters on the internet are going to do things. Like, Utterly Noah is, to me, kind of a unique case where you have a guy who's trying to hide in the background and do it. Like, you can't point towards... Not every case, and I would say probably not even most of the cases you point towards are the person in question doing the DMCA strike or the harassment complaint or things like that. Like, you can't live in this world where, like, well, this particular person, I'm scared of doing it because of friendship, past friendships, and then, turn around and hide the videos as like... I lost my train of thought on that one, and I'm kind of repeating myself anyway. You had no reason to take down the videos. If you really, I don't believe that you had a concern for Anthony taking down your videos, but you were more than willing to put all of this information out there in posts that said that, it is possible that he could do it, right? It is possible that Anthony could do it. Yeah, it's possible Anthony could do it, and it's also possible that, fucking pigs could fly, I guess. We don't know the truth, but you're putting more weight to the accusation than just saying that it's absolutely weird, right? There was more to it with the Noah stuff in a lot of different ways when you look back at it, right? Noah made a lot of things that, like, got the right people's attention, like red flags that the right people looked at and was like, something's wrong here, that they kept pushing and pushing till eventually something broke. We're not really seeing that, like, with Anthony. I don't know that anyone's come up and said, which I haven't watched this drama, maybe it's all over the place, that it's like there's weird stuff going on, right? Is it an artist that copyright struck it? Is it some weird account? Is it Anthony who did it? I don't know. It seems like we're trying to mimic what the Utterly Noah drama was because Anthony was so close to it.
About you, but that didn't stop him from claiming that I was talking about him. He then pinned this comment at the top of his video saying, "Remnant has removed the videos and responded to here." He claims this is because I fear I will false DMCA strike them because I knew a guy who did that. Which I never said. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's exactly what you inferred, though, right? That's 100% what you inferred. You even said the guilt by the association part, then said you weren't for guilt by association, then continued with guilt by association. That's not word for word, but absolutely what you were trying to get at with that.
Literally nowhere did I say that. You're just a fucking liar. You've lied about me for over a month. I literally said your audience multiple times in my posts and in this video. I made it abundantly clear. I said it multiple times. There's no excuse for you to just make up bullshit about me like this. You twist everything I'm saying. I never said that. I also specified what I meant, but
the first portion fucking did say that. God damn it. Why do I keep having to go back? Let's see here. Where was... All right. There are many reasons for this. One is Anthony Gramolula was on very good terms with Utterly Noah, who intentionally copyright striked his criticism. That is extremely concerning for me. Yet I do not hold that against him alone, since I am against guilt by association. Yet you just said a guilt by association was something that was bothering you. You're not inferring his audience in this first paragraph. You are very much stating Anthony Gramuglia was close to Otterly Noah, and that concerns me. Yes, it's not word for word, but it's not a lie. It's what you were inferring. Then the second half, the problem is I do not put that above Anthony's audience, nor think that they would be against that same mentality as Otterly Noah. So you preface it later that you're talking about the audience, but the first paragraph is very much towards Anthony himself.
With this post you made, because he already made claims about my video in this post before he even published it. I even offered to not bring this up in the video, but that didn't stop him from claiming that I was talking about him. He then pinned this comment at the top of his video saying, Remnant has removed the videos and responded to here.
Any reasonable person seeing those two fucking paragraphs could infer that Anthony could be the one that copyright struck.
False DMCA strike them because I knew a guy who did that. Which I never said. That's fucking bullshit. Literally nowhere did I say that. You're just a fucking liar. You've lied about me for over a month. I literally said your audience multiple times in my post and in this video. I made it abundantly clear. I said it multiple times. There's no excuse for you to just make up bullshit about me like this. You twist everything I'm saying. I never said that. I also specified what I meant, but it doesn't stop you from taking snippets and statements I say, isolating them by yourself to twist it to fit whatever narrative or lie you want to push about me. And after lie, I made a post saying, didn't stop Otterly Noah. Again, this shows how blatantly dishonest.
Didn't stop Otterly Noah. Again, this
Anthony is. He also never addressed Blackish's channel being deleted. Anthony has gone on record to say, always say less than needed, so you don't incriminate yourself. Because he only focuses on optics, never truth. That's what his advice to Otterly Noah was repeatedly. It feels like he's practicing what he preaches in this case.
So this is you then still inferring that he could have done it, right? Like we're pretending that that's not what it is. This is clearly you inferring that that's what he did it. Again, it just shows how didn't stop Otterly Noah, right? You just in that phrase, you're connecting him to Otterly Noah. You're using this drama from the past and saying, hey, this is Anthony. And I'm having to fucking defend Anthony Gramuglia, who's already a fucking slime ball in this. But this is exactly what you're doing.
LOL. Now, if you
I don't know if you're just being dishonest or if you're just too dumb to understand the words that you're saying.
Literally everything I said out of context, and you only focused on that one post and decided to reply to that with your terrible screenshots, I would be much more understanding. I don't care that the evidence you posted doesn't even prove anything. If you want to do your best to try and dispel any sort of rumors about you, especially if you believe I genuinely think you got Blackish removed, be my guest. But you're lying about me when you claim that I'm going to make this whole long response accusing you of getting Blackish's channel deleted. You thought this would set me back. That's what you were hoping for. I would have only talked about Blackish for maybe 60 seconds at most, in the context of why my videos are gone.
So he did get you to respond then.
Where you can find them. Now we had to have this whole long segment dedicated just to the Blackish drama.
Yes, you're right. We have to go on a Rumble, a platform that most people don't fucking use, an empty fucking site, instead of on YouTube where everyone could fucking find it.
Because of you, and the fact that you kept on twisting what I said repeatedly, refusing to engage with any of the things I said, try to work anything out on the side. You ignore any and all evidence that I do provide and that I offer to provide. When you're doing all of that, it makes you look irrational. You look insane. And you know what? I'm glad we had this interaction because it allowed me to fully articulate what exactly you're doing, Anthony. Why my audience literally begged me to make this video on you, which I originally wasn't going to do. It's all because of the implications. This is
I wasn't going to make this video on you. I was just going to go about my day. But you were hoping to make this video on him. I don't think your audience had to convince you to make this video on him. And it doesn't seem like it's all that well put together.
The last part of the video. You see, when it comes to writing or just even talking to people, there's always a degree of interpretation that goes on, where people try to better understand what it is you meant by the words you said. This is good, it's natural, it's healthy behavior for anybody who genuinely tries to understand somebody. And on our behalf, as writers, as people who are trying to communicate and to try and avoid confusion with those who interpret what we say, we make attempts to clarify our positions and what we mean by going into detail. For me, in my video where I say why left-wing art looks so mentally ill, I clarify my position multiple times to say that I'm not referring to all left-wing art, because in some instances, especially without clarification.
Right, but the title didn't say that. Why didn't you put that in the title? And you know, like Anthony said, is instead of looks. Why didn't you just put in the title that some left-wing art is mentally ill? Yeah.
People can walk away with the wrong idea.
I mean, I think that's a shit argument, right? I would like to go watch this video. I don't know. I'm gonna fucking pull it up on Rumble. I don't even know that I have a fucking Rumble account. I don't think I've ever looked at that site. I may. Maybe I was looking at an anti-woker or something. I don't remember. But it's just this wordplay of, well, this is what I was actually saying, ignoring what the words could infer in any sort of way.
Yeah, that I'm talking about all. That would be a genuine mistake. That's why I clarified.
He also has failed to show me how many times, like where he said not all left-wing art is. I guess there was that one clip that he showed. So maybe I'm wrong there, where he says that, you know, the communist art or whatever, propaganda art is good. But then why even say, you know, why even infer all left-wing art?
Numerous times. The problem is, though, you feel at liberty not to be specific whatsoever with your language. And then you get angry and accuse people of lying and misrepresenting what you're saying when they...
Bud, you were so fucking vague with that Anthony fucking... No, well, it wasn't even vague. It was like so heavily inferred. Like you might as well have been pointing right at him and Noah.
You get the wrong interpretation from what you wrote. In your video, Japan, their art, and the culture war, you said a lot of folks love Godzilla right now because it's doing better than Disney, especially those in the culture war, or as you call them, the culture warriors, or the right-wing trolls. But you never specified in your video at all that you were only referencing the quote-unquote culture warriors. You made no effort to clarify that you were strictly talking about them. You did mention them repeatedly, but you never specified that you were only talking about them. And what's worse is when Animus literally quoted you almost word for word, you claimed that he was lying and misrepresenting your position, despite the fact that there's literally no evidence to suggest that he was. I watched the video, Anthony. You never...
I can't say anything about Animus. I don't know who he is. He was probably right. Anthony's a shithead.
Said you're only talking about the people in the culture war. You made it up. And then you get angry at people for having the wrong interpretation to the open-ended things you say. Actually, it wasn't even that open-ended. See, Animus simply quoted you word for word.
But you got mad at him for the wrong interpretation of you saying that he was like utterly Noah and you afraid your stuff was going to get striked.
Word. You're just butthurt that he was able to rebuttal your position. Actually, that's not precisely what I meant word for word. I meant the specific thing that I never clarified. This is, by definition, extremely incompetent writing on your behalf. You pride yourself in the fact that you're a writer, so you can't get angry at people for not reading your mind when you make no clarification on what you specifically meant. And you do this repeatedly. This is a huge problem, especially given you can be as vague as you want, never clarify what you meant, and then accuse people of lying when they interpret what you say the incorrect way. Meanwhile,
yeah, but what you like to do is say whatever you want. Come back and say that's not what I meant, even though it could definitely be read that way, and then just say everybody's wrong.
I can clarify my position repeatedly. I can tell you exactly what I think, and you'll deliberately ignore these clarifications and isolate these individuals.
Because you're saying what you're saying, and you're saying your clarification. But there's no reason to believe your clarification with the clear inference. And I'm probably using that word wrong because I'm a fucking dumbass. But like you're clearly pointing to guilt by association and the fear you had of your channel getting taken down to be to, you know, and then to clarify that that's not what you were saying with it is not proof that that's not what you were saying. It's you making a clarification. But a lot of people will do this. They'll say something and be like, well, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. But the words that you said were the words that you said, right? We're not going to pretend that they're not.
Statements from their context and then twist them to fit your narrative. You did this to me multiple times. When I made my video about left-wing art, you claim I'm talking about all left-wing art. Doesn't matter how many times I denounce that idea. You'll claim that I'm accusing you of getting Blackish's channel deleted, despite however many times I go on record to say otherwise. Yet you always feel at liberty to claim that people are lying and misrepresenting you when you make no effort to go into detail. Anthony, you do a horrible job at communicating precisely what you mean if this is unintentional. And if it is intentional, this just makes you a snake. You're avoiding any and all confrontation and accountability for the claims you make. That's what's happening. This is why you're incredibly disliked by so many people, Anthony. And that is the end of my video. This took me quite a while, but it wasn't that bad because at the end, I had a similar conclusion before we had this conversation, before he made those posts where he crashed out. But this just helps me to articulate it even better. I think it was a really fun video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really did, be sure to...
I don't think it was all that good a video. Remnant, everybody. I'm thinking that I'm gonna watch the video on Rumble. That I just want to look at this slap boxing event between these two absolute fucking beautiful people, and I don't know, disagree with both of them. Oh God. Oh. All right, so that's it. I was this video dumbfounded me so much I had to stop playing Astronauts to focus more in on it. Maybe Friday we'll pull up the Rumble video and watch it, and maybe Anthony's video too. just to see what Anthony was saying versus what Remnant is inferring. So far, 2 videos into Remnant's channel, I haven't really cared for any of them. Maybe I just need to dig deeper to get what he's saying about this art video to make me think this video is good some way. So, yep, that's going to be that. I am tired. It is an hour after my normal stream time, but I had to finish it. Thank you guys for coming. Anyone who's coming in, on your way out, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the stream, please. Helps me out as I work towards trying to get 500, trying to get more consistent with stream. If you like what you see, you can subscribe. I try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. It doesn't always work out being a family man, but like I said, we're trying to get more consistent. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys on Friday.
It really helps the channel.
That's right. It really helps.